Urban Cultivation, starting my immortal path from Key Refining Level 1. Greetings, fellow multiversal adventurers. It's an honor to have you back in this saga that has us all hooked. Official channel statement: this story is 100% epic fiction, so please don't attempt real magic. The results aren't guaranteed and insurance won't cover it. The rights to this masterpiece belong entirely to its brilliant original author. We are just a barge sharing it with you. Do you want to keep being part of this amazing community? Join our ninja army of subscribers on YouTube and give this content a like. And for true fans, our Patreon has exclusive ninjutsu waiting for you. Chapter 576. It's my turn. Su Yang's figure suddenly vanished from the arena, causing Wang Yi to frown slightly. He then closed his eyes and began to sense Su Yang's location. He had arranged the arena with a Bagua diagram. As long as someone was on the arena, theoretically, nothing could escape his perception. However, at this moment, Wang Yi couldn't detect Su Yang's presence, and naturally, he didn't know his whereabouts. Impossible. Wang Yi began to get serious, the sluggishness in his eyes vanishing as he perked up. He then continued to search, trying to locate Su Yang's whereabouts, while keeping a vigilant eye on his surroundings, wary of any sneak attacks. Where did Su Yang go? How could a living person suddenly disappear? Didn't he think he couldn't defeat Taoist Wang Yi and run away? Bullshit, didn't you see? Taoist Wang Yi couldn't find Su Yang, which means Su Yang is already invincible. Why would he run away? Strange. What kind of method is this? It's so strange, and it's not very honorable, the onlookers below were whispering and discussing. In the crowd, Zimin Longian, Fozi Wuji, and other geniuses were also discussing this matter. Fozi, can you tell what tricks Su Yang used? Why did he suddenly disappear without leaving any trace? Zimin Longian asked. I don't know, Fozi Wuji shook his head and said. However, Su Yang is no simple person. Today's match will be very interesting. The ultimate winner may not be Wang Yi. Haha, Fozi, you think too highly of Su Yang. Du Fiang, who was standing beside him, said coldly. He only knows a few tricks. He's not worthy of being in a high-class place. Mr. Su Yang spared your life a few days ago, but now you say this. Do you think it's appropriate? Zhao's hero said calmly. HMPH, Du Fiang said disdainfully, it's just martial arts restraint. If it weren't for your secret technique, which happens to counteract the Du families, he wouldn't be my opponent. The winner is King, Master Du, so stop saying that. Zimin Longian chuckled softly. Don't forget, your ancestral soul has been taken away by Su Yang. Now you can't use the Du family's secret technique. Without the blessing of the Du family's secret technique, you are nothing. If I were you, I would have found a crack in the ground and crawled into it long ago, Zimin Longian said sarcastically. Zimin Longian, Du Fiang was immediately furious upon hearing this. What? Zimin Longian said with a playful smile. Master Du, are you going to fight me? Zimin Longian, don't be so arrogant. If I had 3 ancestral souls in my body, why would I be afraid of you? Seeing this, Du Fiang realized that without his ancestral soul, he could no longer be Zimin Longian's opponent. He left with a word and turned away. Young Master Du, find a chance to talk to your ancestors and ask them to submit to our Zimin family. Otherwise, your Du family's future will be even more difficult, Zimin Longian said with a playful smile at Du Fiang's back. Du Fiang naturally heard him, paused, clenched his fists in anger, and finally strode away. Not only did they fail to detect Su Yang's whereabouts, but even the land-based martial gods atop the high thrones were unaware. After all, the power of the heavenly hidden stone was so extraordinary that even ancient warriors at the Jinden stage might not be able to decipher it. This Su Yang does have some hidden tricks up his sleeve. He must have a treasure that can conceal his aura. At this time, Wang Zhongyan said, once you enter my disciple's Kimen, any form of physical skill will be useless. However, this treasure is a bit tricky, Master Wang. Didn't you just promise your disciple victory? Why are you saying it's difficult now? Zimin Fengyan chuckled. Haha, Wang Zhongyan stroked his beard and continued, although the aura-hiding treasure is powerful, it's useless. At most, it can only buy time. He keeps playing cowardly, so he can't win. If he accidentally reveals a flaw, my disciple will defeat him directly, Wang Zhongyan said confidently. Zimin Fengyan said nothing more, his gaze falling on the ring, his eyes slightly narrowed, and it was unclear what he was thinking. At this moment, on the ring, Wang Yi couldn't find Su Yang's whereabouts, and he became a little angry. He simply stopped searching and attacked directly. Bang! 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 Wang Yi raised his hands repeatedly, and the Bagua diagram glowed. Terrifying energy continued to surge out, bombarding the surroundings. Su Yang, I know you're still in the ring. Haha, I want to see if you can dodge such a dense attack. Wang Yi took it seriously and attacked again and again. Minutes passed, but Su Yang still didn't appear. Wang Yi's Hanqi was depleted, and he grew increasingly furious as the fight went on, his previous relaxed demeanor gone. Su Yang, are you just a coward? Wang Yi grumbled. Su Yang didn't respond, and silence fell. Damn it, Wang Yi, enraged, pounded the air frantically, a chorus of explosions echoing throughout the area. Whoosh! But at that moment, Su Yang suddenly released the effects of the heavenly hidden stone and swiftly appeared before Wang Yi. The next moment, he unleashed a punch, the 100 lifetimes reincarnation fist, striking directly at Wang Yi. Wang Yi, already pounding all around, had no time to dodge, and could only hastily block with his arms. Bang! A muffled thud echoed from the area, followed by a terrifying aftermath of battle that spread out in all directions. The 100 lifetimes reincarnation fist was so terrifying that Wang Yi was momentarily lost in thought. Master Wang Yi, you're tired, now it's my turn. Su Yang, naturally not wanting to miss this opportunity, pressed forward, pressing forward to press on. Bang, bang, bang. A pair of fists rained down on Wang Yi like raindrops. Wang Yi, a top-tier prodigy after all, reacted quickly, initially forced to defend himself before launching a counterattack. Su Yang, you think you can defeat me in close combat? How naive, Wang Yi sneered, then said, you're using boxing, right? Haha, then I'll show you the Xianji Sex Bagua fist. As his words fell, Wang Yi's attack intensified. A mysterious Bagua pattern emerged on his fists. Not to be outdone, Su Yang unleashed the 100 lifetimes reincarnation fist, sweeping across the air and crackling the air. The two exchanged blows, the aftermath of the battle raging in a breathtaking scene. So this is Su Yang's true strength? He can evenly match Taoist Wang Yi. He's so formidable. The crowd below realized that Su Yang wasn't as weak as they had initially thought. They held their breath, their gaze fixed intently on the ring, fearing to miss the action. Before they knew it, they were watching the action unfold. Half an hour passed. Su Yang and Wang Yi had fought hundreds of rounds, both wounded, neither gaining an advantage. Su Yang's mouth was bloodied, and he was breathing heavily. His fists were bloodied, and blood continuously flowed from between his fingers. As for Wang Yi, he was in the same boat, his injuries similar to Su Yang's, and his breathing was a little disordered. Su Yang, I admit that I underestimated you before. I didn't expect you to be so strong. At this moment, Wang Yi wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, stared at Su Yang, and said lightly, however, pure physical combat is not what I am good at. My strongest means is the art of Kimen. In my Kimen, I am the sky, I am God, and I can dominate everything, Wang Yi said confidently. Now, I will use the art of Kimen to win this battle. Let me remind you, I have left marks on you in the fight just now. Now there is nowhere to hide, and your invisibility means have failed. After winning the first place, you can go to the Xianjimen Hall and start the ancient martial arts reform. I am also full of expectations for this change. Su Yang, we have been fighting for so long, it's time to end. After the words fell, Wang Yi's eyes flashed, and he immediately began to pinch his hands to control the Bagua map. Chapter 577 Su Yang, Victory. Instantly, a vast surge of ki surged, rapidly forming several pillars that rose from the ground beneath Su Yang's feet. Su Yang dodged, but wherever he dodged, pillars of ki appeared, leaving him unable to land. Sky Sword. Having reached this point, Su Yang drew his weapon. With a thud, the Sky Sword appeared in his hand. Holding the Sky Sword with unwavering confidence, Su Yang slashed with one blow, instantly severing several key pillars. Whoosh! 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 But the next moment, over a dozen key transformed arrows shot towards him. Not good, Su Yang gasped and retreated rapidly, swinging the Sky Sword in his hand. Golden energy severing most of the arrows, but some still struck him. Finally, two key arrows pierced Su Yang's shoulders, and the Sky Sword fell to the ground. Puff! Su Yang's internal organs were also injured, and he spat out a mouthful of blood upon landing. Now, his arms throbbed with pain, unable to lift them. Blood gushed out, and his face paled. Su Yang, Admit defeat. Wang Yi flashed before Su Yang, his foot on the key column, looking down from above. You stand no chance against me. You're so proud of yourself for having fought me to this point. Su Yang smiled at this. He first used his spiritual energy to heal his arms, then, with a thought, the sky sword reappeared in his hand. Master Wang Yi. At this, Su Yang's lips curled up. I've been observing you since you stepped onto the ring. You pride yourself on your Kimen technique, so you're very particular about your positioning, never putting yourself in a disadvantageous position. This shows that your Kimen technique hasn't yet reached its full potential. Su Yang chuckled playfully. Now, I found your weakness. I wonder if you'll still be so confident without the Kimen technique's blessing. Wang Yi frowned slightly at this, staring at Su Yang in surprise. You keep changing the Bagua map, shifting every direction, but you've never let Kang Sui appear closest to me. Su Yang then continued, if I'm not mistaken, Kang Sui is your death position, right? With that, Su Yang narrowed his eyes and immediately used the technique of a world away, attempting to destroy Kang Sui. Not good. Wang Yi's face suddenly changed, but it was too late to stop Su Yang. With a sudden thought, he prepared to change the Bagua map's supposed position, attempting to confuse Su Yang. But Su Yang had already locked onto Kang Sui and couldn't make a mistake. The next moment, he unleashed a punch. A loud bang echoed from the scene, and then Wang Yi's Bagua map collapsed, vanishing without a trace. Simultaneously, the key pillars above the arena dissipated as well. Without the key pillars beneath his feet, Wang Yi slowly landed on the ground, staring coldly at Su Yang. Wow! This scene instantly caused an uproar at the scene. Oh my god, Su Yang actually destroyed Taoist Wang Yi's Bagua map. This is a technique Taoist Wang Yi is so proud of, and it's gone just like that. At this moment, Wang Yi stared at Su Yang, his face grim. He said calmly, Su Yang, you also understand Kimen techniques? I don't. Su Yang shook his head and said bluntly, but I know you haven't mastered it yet. Humph, I've practiced Kimen techniques for over 20 years. I'm already proficient in changing the positions of the Bagua. I can construct a Bagua map with a single thought. And you say I haven't mastered it yet? Wang Yi was unconvinced and said coldly, Su Yang. You don't think I'm doomed now, do you? Haha, I'm not afraid to tell you, even without the Bagua map, you wouldn't necessarily defeat me. With that, Wang Yi leaped at Su Yang, clearly furious. Su Yang wasn't complacent. He knew Wang Yi's strength, so he didn't take it lightly. Holding the sky sword, he charged forward. For a moment, the scene was ablaze with sword energy and true ki, as the two fought fiercely. Soon, they exchanged blows for hundreds more rounds. Su Yang and Wang Yi were both severely wounded, their bodies drenched in blood. But neither conceded, and the battle continued in a brutal frenzy. Slowly, Su Yang and Wang Yi's movement slowed, evidently reaching the end of their strength. The onlookers below, as well as the sect leaders atop the high seats, watched with bated breath. Everyone knew that the winner of the 100 sects martial competition was about to be decided. Though Wang Yi, without the Bagua diagram, was formidable, he was a bit weaker against Su Yang, wielding the Azure Sky Sword. Ultimately, Su Yang gained the upper hand, knocking Wang Yi to the ground. With the Azure Sky Sword resting on Wang Yi's neck, he weakly said, Are you still fighting? Wang Yi raised his head, staring at Su Yang. After a few seconds' pause, he shook his head. You win, he said with mixed emotions. From the beginning, he hadn't wanted to participate in the 100 sects martial arts competition, let alone become the leader of the Ancient Martial Arts Alliance. Wang Yi cared less about first place and more about winning than losing. Having lost to Su Yang, he felt unwilling but also relieved. Do you know where you lost? Su Yang asked. Wang Yi looked at Su Yang, wanting to know the answer. Your Kimen technique is indeed powerful, but you're overly focused on positioning, wanting to always be in an advantageous position. Su Yang continued, a true Kimen master doesn't care about that. It's not that they appear in advantageous positions, but that every position they stand in is advantageous. Even a position that's considered a disadvantage can be transformed into a favorable position by their presence. He doesn't obey the Kimen, but makes them obey him. That's the true Kimen technique. Su Yang continued, when you can achieve this, your Kimen technique will be flawless, not obeying the Kimen, but making them obey me. Wang Yi pondered this sentence, his expression bewildered. Then, a sudden realization dawned on him. He clasped his fists and said, I've learned. With that, Wang Yi, ignoring the gazes of the crowd, leaped off the stage. Now, Su Yang was the only one left on the stage. Undoubtedly, Su Yang had won. Everyone in the room looked at each other, their eyes fixed on Su Yang. After a few seconds pause, the referee announced, Su Yang wins. This year's 100 sex martial arts competition, Su Yang, descendant of the Su family. Wait a minute, before the referee could finish, he was interrupted. Then, a group of 10 people approached. The overwhelming pressure from their presence caused everyone's faces to change drastically. Even the elite on the high seats showed a look of fear. Chapter 578, Ancient Clan Youth. At the 100 sex martial arts competition, Su Yang defeated Wudang's Wang Yi and took first place. According to regulations, the next step was to proceed to the Xianji sect's main hall to initiate a revolution in the ancient martial arts world. But just then, 10 young men in ancient costumes approached, their faces etched with contempt. Huh? Su Yang raised an eyebrow and shifted his gaze, instantly noticing that all 10 of them were ancient martial artists in the Foundation establishment stage. 3 of them had even reached the late Foundation establishment stage, comparable to late-stage martial gods on Earth. Their strength was unfathomable. Cultivators, they're all in the Foundation establishment stage? Foundation establishment is comparable to land martial god. Oh my god, 10 such young land martial gods suddenly appeared. They must be from the 10 ancient clans. Only ancient martial arts can produce such prodigies. Have the ancient clans finally arrived? It seems the transformation of the ancient martial arts world can no longer proceed peacefully. The audience, many of them elderly, saw the extraordinary qualities of the 10 young men, and an uproar erupted in the room. Everyone was filled with fear, their eyes filled with panic. The 10 ancient clans have always been aloof, towering over the entire ancient martial arts world. Put simply, no matter how powerful an ancient martial arts force is, it's the equivalent of the pigs, dogs, cattle, and sheep kept by the 10 ancient clans. Even the 3 renowned mountains, the Fengshan site, the mountain between the sea, and the deepest cloud and mist, feel humble before the 10 ancient clans. Because any one of these ancient clans possesses the power to easily overthrow these renowned mountains. After all, in that era, the ancient martial arts world was practically devoid of land-based martial gods. The mighty warriors of the renowned mountains were, at most, peak divine sects. Ancient martial artists at this level were barely halfway to the Foundation establishment stage. The young men of the 10 ancient clans, even if not the pinnacle of genius, had already completed the Foundation establishment stage. The contrast was stark. Consequently, whenever the young talents of the 10 ancient clans ventured forth for training, the ancient clans and sects would kneel in greeting wherever they passed, fearing the displeasure of the ancient clans. This situation persisted for thousands of years, cultivating a servile mentality among the ancient martial artists. Even though the ancient martial arts world is different now, with land-based martial gods appearing like mushrooms after rain, the ancient martial artists of the major sects still tremble with fear at the news of the 10 ancient clans' arrival. This inherent servility is not easily overcome. Kneeling for too long can weaken one's legs. Not only the onlookers below, but also the many influential figures on high, were filled with panic. I had expected the 10 ancient clans to come, but I didn't expect the timing to be so accurate, Wang Chongyan said with a complicated expression. Xianji sect is the holy land of our Wudang. These people were able to come here without making any noise, haha, they are from the 10 ancient clans, a cultivation force that has been passed down for countless years. Zeman Fengyan laughed playfully. You have no idea how powerful cultivators are. These are just some small tricks. Why are you making such a fuss, Sect Master Wang? That's true, Wang Chongyan nodded, and then said fearfully, these 10 young men are easy to deal with, but I don't know how many people from the 10 ancient clans have come, and whether those old guys are present. After the 100 sex martial arts competition, the house arrest order for the 10 ancient clans was lifted, Zeman Fengyan said lightly. Now that Su Yang has won, the 100 sex martial arts competition is over. Even if the ancient clans come out in full force, they will not be subject to any restrictions. Speaking of this, Sect Master Wang, didn't you say that your disciple Wang Yu would win? Why did he still lose to Su Yang? Zeman Fengyan smiled playfully and said, if Su Yang is a spy sent by the 10 ancient clans, then our ancient martial arts world, wouldn't it be ruined? Zeman Fengyan, shut up. At this time, Shi Haohan said coldly, you have given up the ancient clan and turned to cultivation. You are not considered a member of the ancient martial arts world. In my opinion, You are most likely to turn against us and betray the ancient martial arts world. Master Shishan has a point, Zhang Xianli next to him echoed. Zeman Fengyan, if the 10 ancient clans prevented the changes in the ancient martial arts world, as a cultivator, you would undoubtedly be very happy, right? Haha, since you think so of me, then I won't refute me. I'll just sit here and watch the show today. Zeman Fengyan smiled, and then he didn't care about it. Amitabha, at this point, Abbot Yuantong, who had been silent the entire time, spoke up. Stop arguing. Initiating the ancient martial arts reform is more important. This is Wudang Mountain. Sect Master Wang, please communicate with these young people from the ancient clans and ask them what they are doing here and what their purpose is. Yes, Wang's Hongyan nodded slightly, then his gaze fell on the 10 young men walking side by side. He asked knowingly, everyone, I am Sect Master of the Xianji sect, Wang's Hongyan. Who are you, where are you from, and why are you stopping the referee from announcing the results of the 100 sects martial arts competition? Sect Master Wang. At this moment, a young man with phoenix eyes stepped out from the crowd. He had a handsome face and bore a resemblance to Zhang Changshen. He met Wang's Hongyan's gaze, politely cupped his fists, and smiled softly. I am Dongfang Mingri, from the Dongfang clan, one of the 10 ancient clans. I have come to Wudang Mountain today for no other reason than to challenge the prodigies of the ancient martial arts world, Dongfang Mingri stated bluntly. Dongfang Mingri, why are you being so polite to that old bastard? At this moment, a slightly overweight young man nearby said disdainfully, ancient martial artists are just inferior beings. Why bother taking them seriously? He then looked at Wang's Hongyan and said arrogantly, old man, my name is Zai Haoji. I come from the ancient clan. I heard that your ancient martial arts world is undergoing a transformation. Haha, I won't waste my words. This transformation can only be initiated by those of our ancient clan, Zai Haoji said bluntly. This was their purpose in coming here, to seize the initiative to initiate the ancient clan's transformation. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid that won't work. Wang's Hongyan's face darkened. Only the winner of the 100 sects martial arts competition can initiate this transformation of the ancient martial arts world. No one else can. Now that the winner has been chosen, if you're here for this matter, please return. Wang's Hongyan ordered them to leave. How dare you, old man, refuse. And you still want to drive us away? Zai Haoji's eyes darkened, releasing a powerful aura. He said in a deep voice, who gave you the guts, you lowly person? You don't want to live, do you, young Master Zai Hao? Please respect yourself. I admit that the 10 ancient clans were extremely powerful and enslaved the ancient martial arts world for thousands of years, but the ancient martial arts world is different now. Wang Chongyan met Zai Haoji's gaze and said with a brave face, we no longer submit to the ancient clans. Reform is the business of the ancient martial arts world, not the 10 ancient clans. You have no right to interfere, and you certainly can't replace the first place winner of the 100 sects martial arts competition and initiate reform among the ancient clans, Wang Chongyan declared solemnly. As soon as these words were spoken, the scene erupted in excitement, and the emotions of all the ancient martial artists were aroused, their faces filled with excitement. Chapter 579 I want to be 10. Master Wang is right. We ancient warriors should handle the affairs of the ancient martial arts world ourselves. What does it have to do with the 10 ancient clans? In the past, in our ancient martial arts world, land martial gods were very rare. A big reason for this was the interference of the 10 ancient clans. I've heard of this too. It is said that in order to continue to enslave us, the 10 ancient clans suppressed the ancient clan geniuses. Anyone who had the opportunity to step into the realm of land martial gods was almost persecuted by them. This is why very few ancient warriors were promoted to land martial gods. That's right, but it's different now. After Su Wuji rose to power, he broke into the 10 ancient clans and forced the controllers of the 10 ancient clans to swear an oath, restricting them from entering the world for a certain period of time. The ancient martial arts world ushered in a new life. Now our ancient clan has many land martial gods, and even has peak martial gods. Why should we be afraid of the 10 ancient clans? The ancient martial arts world must change. If the 10 ancient clans want to stop it, then we will fight them. Most of the ancient warriors present were filled with righteous indignation, staring at the 10 young men from the ancient clan with gritted teeth. Old bastard, Zai Haoji's eyes widened at this, and he coldly demanded, do you know who you're talking to? As he spoke, Zai Haoji's face darkened, and he made a move to walk onto the ring. ready to teach Wang Chongyan a lesson. Zia Haoji, stop. Don't be impulsive. Dongfang Mingri, standing beside him, intervened. Dongfang Mingri, who do you think you are? You and I are both in the late foundation establishment stage. Why should I listen to you? Zia Haoji raised an eyebrow. Before we came here, your elders instructed the 9 of you to temporarily follow me. Have you forgotten? Dongfang Mingri said calmly. I haven't forgotten, but I don't want to listen to you. Today, I must kill that disrespectful old bastard, Zia Haoji insisted. HMPH, if you insist on going your own way again, don't blame me for being rude, Dongfang Mingri said gravely. Brother Zia Hao, listen to Brother Mingri. He's the boss today, a young man with triangular eyes advised, standing alongside Dongfang Mingri, his meaning clear. The same was true for the others. It was clear that Dongfang Mingri was the leader of this group. Zia Haoji, don't forget our purpose. Don't be reckless. The outside world is different now. It's no longer the time for us 10 ancient clans to dominate the world, Dongfang Mingri added. If possible, avoid impulsiveness and try not to make things awkward. HMPH, you're using a feather as a token of authority, Zia Haoji snorted, completely unconvinced by Dongfang Mingri, but he didn't move forward. Master Wang, I apologize for offending you just now. After calming Zia Haoji, Dongfang Mingri looked at Wang Chongyan and said with a gentle smile, my friend has a bad temper. I hope you won't take it personally. One played the good cop, the other the bad cop. Wang Chongyan naturally did it and said indifferently, young Master Dongfang, you guys should go back and don't waste your time here. Master Wang, can you please listen to me? Wang Chongyan looked at Dongfang Mingri. After all, he was still a little afraid of the 10 ancient clans, so he nodded and said, you say, it's like this, Master Wang. We don't have to obtain the right to initiate the ancient martial arts reform when we come to Wudang Mountain this time. Dongfang Mingri met Wang Chongyan's gaze and smiled gently. The reason why you hold the 100 sex martial arts competition and let the first place in the 100 sex martial arts competition initiate the ancient martial arts reform is not because of a saying. I remember hearing someone mention it before. Only the first place in the 100 sex martial arts competition can initiate the ancient martial arts reform and become the leader of the ancient martial arts alliance in accordance with the will of heaven. Then if this first place dies today, doesn't it mean that his luck is not good? Dongfang Mingri said in a flat tone. In that case, who will initiate the ancient martial arts reform? Are you threatening me? Upon hearing this, Wang Chongyan was immediately enraged. I'm warning you. Many land-based martial gods have arrived today from the ancient martial realm. No one can possibly kill Su Yang, haha, I understand. Those sitting with you are all land-based martial gods. Dongfang Mingri glanced at the 5 Duan brothers and continued, they are all powerful, comparable to those at the peak of the foundation establishment stage. With just the 10 of us, we can't do anything, but we come from the 10 ancient clans. Dongfang Mingri narrowed his eyes slightly before adding, to be honest, we from the 10 ancient clans have been preparing for this day for a long time. 30 of those at the peak of the foundation establishment stage alone have arrived. What? 30 at the peak of the foundation establishment stage. These words sent the entire audience into an uproar, everyone unsettled and terrified. Even the land-based martial gods on their high seats began to fidget. 30 at the peak of the foundation establishment stage. The 10 ancient clans, what a grand gesture. Wang Chongyan fell silent upon hearing this, lowering his head with a complex expression. Master Wang, don't worry. Dongfang Mingri saw this and smiled gently. We, the 10 ancient clans, don't want to make a big deal out of this, so those peak foundation establishment masters haven't entered Wudang Mountain. They're just waiting outside for my order. Before we came here, our family elders told us that we don't have to obtain the right to initiate the ancient martial arts reform. We just need to compete with the geniuses of the ancient martial arts world. Dongfang Mingri continued, of course, if we win, we will initiate the ancient martial arts reform on behalf of the ancient martial arts world. If we lose, Dongfang Mingri, promise you that I will leave Wudang Mountain immediately and never interfere in the ancient martial arts reform again. But if Master Wang doesn't agree to the competition, at this point, Dongfang Mingri's face darkened and he said coldly, I'm sorry, Master Wang, but at my command, 30 peak foundation establishment masters will enter Wudang Mountain. By then, I'm afraid that all of you here combined won't be able to stop us from forcing your way into the Xianji sect's main hall. If you agree to the competition, You still have a chance of survival. If you refuse, Dongfang Mingri finished his words and stood aside, awaiting Wang Zhongyan's response. Wang Zhongyan, realizing he was being threatened, gritted his teeth and asked, "How do you want to compete?" "Simple. The ancient martial realm will send 10 individuals to fight against each of our 10 ancient clans. Whoever wins the most matches will be the winner," Dongfang Mingri said with a smile. "HMPH, you've all reached the foundation establishment stage, and some are even in the middle to late stages," Wang Zhongyan, hearing this, said indignantly, "and yet, none of the ancient martial realm's prodigies have reached the land martial god stage yet. How can we compete with you? That's beyond my control," Sect Master Wang. "My patience is limited. I'll give you 10 seconds. Make your decision quickly." Dongfang Mingri smiled faintly. "As I said before, there's still a chance. If you refuse, the Wujin will surely shed rivers of blood today." Wang Zhongyan fell silent, turning back to the various elites on the high seats, wanting to ask for their opinions. At this moment, Su Yang, who had been silent up to that point, spoke from the arena. "Master Wang, agree to this challenge." Su Yang, "We'll take it." Su Yang, Wang Chongyan's gaze fell on Su Yang, and he said worriedly, "But you're only practicing Qi, Master Wang. Trust me," Su Yang said confidently. "Okay." Wang Chongyan hesitated for a few seconds, feeling helpless. Finally, he nodded and said, "Su Yang, it's still not possible. You're the only one on this side of the ancient martial arts world. The strength of the others, well, including my disciple, will be crushed if they go on stage. They have no chance of winning. Leave it to me. Leave all 10 matches to me." Su Yang glanced at the 10 young men from the ancient clan below, a playful smile on his face, and he said with great vigor, "Today, I will set foot on the foundation establishment stage. I will defeat 10 of them alone." If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 580. I have the responsibility to beat you back. Stepping into the foundation building stage, one man can defeat 10. As soon as these words were spoken, the scene fell silent, and everyone's eyes fell on Su Yang. Su Yang, at this moment, Wang Chongyan was silent, staring at Su Yang, as if seeing the dawn of hope. At first, Wang Chongyan didn't believe Su Yang had the ability to deal with the young man from the ancient clan. He had agreed to let Su Yang try out of helplessness. But now, for some reason, Wang Chongyan was filled with confidence in Su Yang. "What courage, Su Yang! The future of the ancient martial arts world is in your hands. I hope you won't let me down," Wang Chongyan said solemnly. "Ha ha ha!" At this moment, from the high seat, Zeman Fengyan sneered, "What a joke, Sect Master Wang. Are you confused? Su Yang hasn't established his foundation yet, he's only at the 9th level of Qi training. But those young men from the ancient clan have already completed it, some even reaching the late stages." Zeman Fengyan chuckled playfully. "You expect him to defeat 10 young men from the ancient clan? That's wishful thinking. Forget 10 young men from the ancient clan. Even any one of them could easily crush Su Yang. There's no other possibility," Zeman Fengyan added. "Even if Su Yang succeeds in establishing his foundation, the result will be the same." Zeman Fengyan, "What are you saying?" Shi Haohan, seeing this, said in a deep voice, "You heard what the ancient clan meant. If we don't compete, they'll force their way into Wudang Mountain, 30 peak foundation establishment warriors." Zeman Fengyan, "How many can you handle?" Shi Haohan retorted. "I won't fight. Didn't I say I'll just watch today?" Zeman Fengyan chuckled softly. "HMPH, you can watch the show, but shut up," Shi Haohan said coldly. "Shi Haohan, the ancient martial arts system has no chance of reform. It will always be suppressed by the cultivation system. I wonder how long you can keep your arrogance," Zeman Fengyan said with a smile, then shut up and said no more. As a cultivator, he really didn't want to see the ancient martial arts reform. If all the ancient martial artists became powerful, wouldn't all his hard work in transitioning from ancient martial arts to cultivation be in vain? Therefore, Zeman Fengyan didn't bother to care about these things and simply stood by and watched, letting the ancient martial arts world compete with the 10 ancient clans. However, Zeman Fingayan knew very well that the ancient martial arts world had no qualifications to compete with the 10 ancient clans. As he said, there was only one ending. Young Master Su, we in the Zhang family of Fingayan City believe in you. Go ahead. No matter what the result is, we won't blame you. At this time, Zhang Xianlai said beside him. Mr. Su, the ancient clan has already spoken. The competition must go on. However, these geniuses in the ancient martial arts world have no power to fight. Even if Wang Yu takes action, he will be defeated miserably. Du Kun, the ancestor of the Du family in Shenzhen, said, since you have confidence, these 10 competitions will be handed over to you. Su Yang, the charitable nun of Mount Emei looked at Su Yang. Thinking of Su Yang's flirting with her most beloved disciple, her expression became a little complicated. But Nun Sishan, mindful of the greater good, ultimately declared, I support you. Whether the ancient martial arts world can manage its own transformation depends on you. I hope you can become a hero, not a sinner, driving it forward. Su Yang, I'm making this clear today. If you defeat any of the 10 young men from the ancient clans, I will release your mother and reunite your family. Shi Haoheng gazed at Su Yang and continued, also, the Fengshan site will be open to you. You can travel freely on Mount Tai, Amitabha. A chance is better than no chance. Donor Su Yang, thank you for your hard work. Abbot Yuan Tong also spoke up. At this point, the many influential figures on the high seats unanimously agreed, allowing Su Yang to represent the ancient martial arts world and face the 10 ancient clan prodigies. However, some, having participated in the destruction of Kunlun, had mixed expressions. When Su Yang won the championship just now, their faces were ashen. Coming first meant becoming the leader of the Ancient Martial Arts Alliance, commanding the entire ancient martial arts world. Their own sect, stained with the blood of the Su family, was bound to face Su Yang's retaliation. What should they do? Just when they were at their wits' end, 10 young men from the ancient clan appeared, offering them a glimmer of hope. Their emotions were truly mixed. On the one hand, they hoped Su Yang would unleash his might, defeat the 10, and usher in a revolution in ancient martial arts. Perhaps this would lead to even greater advancements and a longer life. But on the other hand, they also wanted the 10 to defeat or even kill Su Yang, effectively eliminating his threat. It was a contradiction. Everyone, Su Yang, never do anything I'm not sure of. Just wait and see. Su Yang smiled, standing still, and looking around at the 10 young men from the ancient clan. He said calmly, we've granted your request. Now we can begin. I'll take on 10 of you, alone. How arrogant. Zai Haoji, upon hearing this, flew into a rage. Boy, who do you think you are? A waste of 19 key training levels. I'm already in the late foundation establishment stage. I can kill you with a single wave of my hand. You're fighting 10 of you? You're fighting your uncle, you ignorant bastard, Zai Haoji said disdainfully. The Zai Hao family, Dongfang Mengri glanced at him, silencing him. Although Zai Haoji was displeased, several of the ancient clan's prodigies were already approaching him. Furthermore, when he came to Wudang Mountain, the elders of the Zai Hao family had repeatedly instructed him to follow Dongfang Mengri's instructions. Although Xia Haoji didn't understand why even the elders of his own family had to obey Dongfang Mengri's orders, considering his strength was not inferior to Dongfang Mengri's, both of them were in the late stage of foundation building. Xia Haoji couldn't figure it out, but since it was the elders' wishes, he could only do as they said, so he didn't say anything more at this moment. Su Yang, young Master Su, at this time, Dongfang Mengri met Su Yang's gaze, clasped his fists, and said with a polite smile, I've heard a little about you along the way. Back then, Senior Su Wuji traveled alone throughout the 10 ancient clans. No one could stop him. No one could stop him. To be honest, the reason why our 10 ancient clans have been in seclusion for over 100 years is because our ancestor lost to Senior Su Wuji, and out of helplessness, they agreed to Senior Su Wuji's request. He single-handedly intimidated the 10 ancient clans, forcing the ancient clans that had dominated the world for thousands of years to retreat into seclusion. He is worthy of being called the first person of all time. Dongfang Mengri kept looking at Su Yang and praised, young Master Su, as a descendant of Senior Su Wuji, after meeting you today, I can see that you are indeed worthy of your reputation and have great courage. Don't say compliments, it's boring. Su Yang waved his hand impatiently, and then said seriously, originally, I couldn't find a reason to take action on behalf of the ancient martial arts world. I am a cultivator. Whether the ancient martial arts reform begins or not is not of much concern to me, but now, I found a reason. Back then, my great-grandfather single-handedly confined all 10 of your ancient clans to their homes for over 100 years. Today, I will single-handedly defeat all of you. Chapter 581, Advancement, Foundation Building. Although Su Yang didn't know why his great-grandfather had made a pact with the 10 ancient clans to confine him for over 100 years, he must have had his own reasons for doing so. Today, Su Yang would carry on his great-grandfather's wish and uphold the reform of ancient martial arts. Young Master Su, why are you doing this? Dongfang Mengri narrowed his eyes and chuckled softly. As you just said, the ancient martial arts reform has nothing to do with you. A secret room cultivator should wade into this mess. Besides, you're only at the 9th level of key training. If we fight, you have no chance of winning. Even if you succeed in building your foundation, you'll only be at the early stages, and still unable to defeat any of us, Dongfang Mengri threatened. If a fight breaks out, and you make a mistake, it will be more trouble than it's worth. Although Senior Su Wuji sanctioned the 10 ancient clans back then, we have deep respect for him. You're his descendant, and we don't want to harm you, Dongfang Mengri added. Young Master Su, I hope you can make the right decision. My great-grandfather told you not to come out. Now that you've come out, it's my responsibility to fight you back, Su Yang said flatly. Young Master Su, as a cultivator, do you think it's appropriate to defend the ancient martial arts reform? Dongfang Mengri asked with a look of displeasure. What nonsense! Su Yang glanced around at the 10 young men from the ancient clan and said impatiently, are you coming one by one, or all together? Haha. Dongfang Mengri finally lost his temper and said coldly, since young Master Su is so ungrateful, don't blame us for being rude, don't worry. Your great-grandfather's life or death is uncertain. We, the 10 ancient clan, naturally dare not kill you, lest he return with force and bring disaster to the ancient clan. Dongfang Mengri changed the subject, adding, however, if we accidentally injure you during the competition, even if Su Wuji does return, we will not blame the ancient clan. With these words, Zai Haoji, standing nearby, felt relieved and looked at Dongfang Mengri with admiration. No wonder Dongfang Mengri was so polite to Su Yang, it turned out he was doing it for Su Wuji's sake. That's right. Su Wuji was truly formidable. He broke the rules and advanced all the way. Now he was in doubt whether he was alive or dead. We really couldn't go too far. We should always leave a way out so we can meet again in the future. Only then did the Zai family understand why the elders of each family had clearly stated that Dongfang Mengri was the leader of this battle. He was a meticulous person, calm and composed. Although Zai Haoji had figured it out, he felt a sense of disdain. Throughout history, the ancient martial arts world had always been vulnerable, and he truly did not take its members seriously. Young Master Su, Dongfang Mengri smiled softly and added, you said just now that you would embark on the foundation establishment stage today. The 10 of us are all at the foundation establishment stage. For the sake of fairness, young Master Su, you should establish your foundation first, Dongfang Mengri continued. As for a 1-on-10 battle, let's forget it. We, the 10 ancient clans, cannot afford to bully someone in the early stages of the foundation establishment stage. After you establish your foundation, I will designate a member of the ancient clan to challenge you. Dongfang Mengri said. No need to bother. I'm in the foundation establishment stage and don't mind being disturbed. I can even do it during battle, Su Yang smiled and said, but since you've said so, I'll start with the foundation establishment stage first. As he finished speaking, Su Yang closed his eyes slightly and suddenly activated the 9-nether prison suppression technique. Buzz! The next moment, a terrifying surge of spiritual energy surged from Su Yang's body, sweeping across the entire arena. Immediately afterwards, the energy stone within the storage ring emitted a dazzling light, and the vast spiritual energy was continuously absorbed by Su Yang. As for Su Yang, this spiritual energy enveloped him, forming a solid protective barrier that seemed impervious to all attacks. 9th level key training, yet he possesses such powerful spiritual energy? What level of cultivation technique is he practicing? Dongfang Mengri saw this, a hint of horror in his eyes. It must have been left to him by Su Wuji. The aura wall surrounding him is strange and powerful. His foundation is the most solid I've ever seen. He couldn't have been stuck at the 9th level of key training for more than 10 years. Powerful. No wonder he said he could establish his foundation at any moment. It turns out he's been deliberately suppressing his state for so many years. I suspect he's not just establishing his foundation this time. He could very well reach the middle or late stages of foundation building, no matter. Even if he does advance, or break through, he won't be able to defeat the 10 of us. The 10 young men from the ancient clans present, sensing Su Yang's extraordinary abilities, began to discuss the situation. Xia Haoji, standing nearby, stared intently at Su Yang, his eyes burning with passion. Any cultivator who saw Su Yang practicing the 9 nether prison suppression technique could discern its power. Consequently, Xia Haoji became interested in the 9 nether prison suppression technique. HMPH, no matter how today ends, Su Yang, I will capture you and force you to reveal your cultivation method. Also, you're Su Wuji's descendant. Su Wuji will definitely leave you a hidden weapon. Perhaps the Void Tower is even within your grasp, Xia Haoji thought to himself. Haha, Su Wuji's fame spanned an entire era. What a pity, his descendant is nothing but trash. What he left behind will soon be mine. At this moment, Su Yang calmed down and focused his attention on attacking the barrier of the Foundation establishment realm. Before attacking, he used the energy stones in his stored ring to create a simple formation with a single wave of his hand, consuming over 1,000 energy stones. This defensive formation would take several minutes for a peak Foundation establishment cultivator to break through. The strongest of the 10 ancient clan youths present was only in the late Foundation establishment stage, so breaking through the defensive formation would take even longer. This time would allow Su Yang to successfully establish his foundation, which was why he was confident of a breakthrough during the battle. 9 nether prison suppression art, swallow it, Su Yang growled. He had no shortage of insights into realms, his previous battle with Wang Yi had solidified his state. Now, Su Yang was like an empty bottle, all it took was to fill it up, and he would naturally reach the foundation establishment stage. And the substance that filled the bottle was, naturally, spiritual energy. Thus, a vast amount of spiritual energy continuously flowed into Su Yang's body. Minutes passed. Su Yang had already used up thousands of energy stones, and only a few hundred remained in his stored ring. It's just foundation establishment. I didn't expect to use up so many energy stones. More than I expected. Thankfully, I went to Bashan, otherwise it would have been embarrassing. But the more energy stones I use up, the stronger I'll be after foundation establishment. Haha, Su Yang, delighted, glanced inward at his stored ring and said, there are still over 800 left, which should be enough for foundation establishment. With this in mind, Su Yang continued to absorb spiritual stones. Finally, when he had drained the last energy stone, he reached the foundation establishment stage. Chapter 582, Building a Foundation, Ascending to Heaven in One Step. Buzz! Instantly, an incomparably powerful aura emanated from Su Yang's body, sweeping the entire audience. Foundation establishment. Finally, foundation establishment. Once at the foundation establishment stage, one becomes the equivalent of a martial god on earth, ascending to the heavens in a single step, surpassing all other ancient martial arts prodigies. At that moment, Zimin Longayan, Fozi Wuji, Du Fiang, the countless prodigies in the audience all had complex expressions. It turned out that Su Yang had been hiding his abilities the entire time. He could enter the foundation establishment stage at any time, and he had only been perfunctory before. Imagine, once Su Yang reached the foundation establishment stage, participating in the 100 sex martial competition, would there even be any need to compete? The prodigies who had previously looked down on Su Yang, who had expressed disdain for him, now had expressions of shame on their faces. Foundation establishment. I need to establish my foundation as soon as possible, too, so that I can unleash the full power of the 100 poison banner, the old poison creature muttered, gazing at Su Yang from the abyss. Zhengwu Aiao, standing beside him, smiled faintly, showing no sign of emotion over Su Yang's advancement to the foundation establishment stage. He tilted his head back and took a sip of the wine from his wine gourd, seemingly unconcerned by the events unfolding. Is this the end? The 10 young men from the ancient clan had assumed that after Su Yang had established his foundation, he would advance in succession, perhaps even reaching the middle or late stages of the foundation building process. However, to their surprise, Su Yang's realm remained at the early stages of the foundation building process, with no further progress. The competition may begin now. After establishing his foundation, Su Yang, brimming with confidence, surveyed the 10 young men from the ancient clan and chuckled softly. Again, will you all come together, or one at a time? Arrogance. Presumption. These two words were perfectly portrayed by Su Yang, stirring the excitement of the many ancient clan warriors present. Haha, Master Su is awesome, Master Su is invincible, who dares to draw his sword and mount his horse? Only the descendants of the Su family. Master Su, keep going. The future of the ancient martial arts world is in your hands. I didn't notice before, but Master Su is so handsome. No wonder Lan Maui and Jin Shangsu are so attracted to him. Even Zhao Zero, who was trained by Nun Sishan as her successor, is fond of Master Su. Yeah, I wish I could be Master Su's woman. I'm not interested in the position of the leader's wife, nor am I after his good looks. I simply like him for his strength. Why don't you take a piss and look at yourself? You have such a big mouth. No, you have a face on your mouth. Do you think Master Su would be attracted to you? So what? A big mouth has its advantages. I'm very capable. Maybe Master Su would like this position. Su Yang successfully entered the foundation establishment stage. His every gesture and gesture was filled with disdain for the 10 young men from the ancient clan, instantly earning the favor of the entire audience and even a group of young female fans. However, the 10 young men from the ancient clan glared at Su Yang, their eyes filled with intense anger. Xia Haoji, in particular, would have rushed to engage Su Yang if Dongfang Mengri hadn't restrained him. Young Master Su, Dongfang Mengri first calmed the young man from the ancient clan behind him, then smiled softly. Your foundation is so solid. I assume you can at least advance to the middle stage of foundation establishment. Why don't you continue to break through? Indeed. Dongfang Mengri was right. Su Yang could indeed continue to break through, but he didn't. First, Su Yang was out of spirit stones. As luck would have it, he had used up all of them when he advanced to the foundation establishment stage. Breaking through to the middle stage of foundation establishment required at least tens of thousands of energy stones, which Su Yang couldn't afford. As for the 2 Taishan essence stones he received from his eldest cousin, Su Yang didn't absorb them. High-grade spirit stones can quickly restore spiritual energy, and they might be of great use in the future. Besides, when resuming cultivation, the most important thing is to avoid impatience. Key training and foundation building are like building a house. Only with a solid foundation can future achievements be greater. Your name is Dongfang Mengri, right? Su Yang looked at Dongfang Mengri and said, your attitude is quite good. It's okay to tell you that I have no spirit stones. Do you think all cultivators are like your ancient clan, plundering famous mountains and accumulating a large amount of spirit stones? Su Yang smiled and then said, Dongfang Mengri, you come from one of the ancient clans, and your words are so effective. I guess you must be rich. Why don't you give me some spirit stones? I don't ask for much. Just give me 100 or 80,000 yuan. I won't mind, 100 or 80,000 yuan. Dongfang Mengri smiled bitterly and said, Mr. Su, you are asking for too much? The ancient clan does not have as many spirit stones as you think, tisk, stingy. With your limited ambition, you are destined to never achieve great things. Su Yang glanced at Dongfang Mengri with disdain, and then urged, come on. Start the competition quickly. I'm still waiting for the ancient martial arts reform to begin. Young Master Su, you're only in the early stages of foundation establishment. If we all attack together, it would seem like bullying. Dongfang Mengri thought for a moment, then said, let's do as I said before and send someone to challenge you. Dongfang Mengri, let me go. Zai Haoji took a step forward, glaring at Su Yang fiercely, and volunteered, this kid is too arrogant. I've been annoyed with him for a long time. Today, I'm going to tear his mouth apart. No, you're in the late stages of foundation establishment, a huge gap compared to young Master Su. Even if we win, it would be dishonorable. Dongfang Mengri shook his head, then looked at a young man from the ancient clan behind him and said, Wenren Yi, you're in the middle stages of foundation establishment. Go up and ask young Master Su for a few lessons. Remember, don't be ruthless, and don't kill him. Just teach him a lesson, Dongfang Mengri warned, clearly still wary of Su Wuji's future return. Okay, upon hearing this, Wenren Yi leaped onto the stage and faced Su Yang from a distance. As for Zia Haoji, although he was dissatisfied with Dongfang Mengri's decision, he had no choice but to comply. Young Master Su, Wenren Yi introduced himself, saying calmly, I am Wenren Yi, son of the Wen family master. If I have offended you, young Master Su, please forgive me. Wenren Yi was relatively polite, most likely because his elders had warned him not to provoke Su Wuji's descendants. Yes, Su Yang nodded and said, "Since you're so polite, I'll give you some face and not seriously injure you, haha. Master Su, I say this to you as well." When Renai chuckled softly, "Generally speaking, a cultivator in the early stages of foundation building can't last more than 2 minutes in my hands." "Really?" Su Yang smiled playfully. "Then I'm different from you. You wouldn't last even a second against me." Everyone can talk big, Master Su, but it's better to be pragmatic. When Renai was just speaking when Su Yang suddenly attacked. A water dragon formed by the condensation of spiritual energy suddenly appeared and slammed into Wen Renai in the blink of an eye. Poor Wen Renai, before he could finish his words, Su Yang knocked him off the stage and he fell to the ground. Chapter 583. Let's go together. Water Dragon Technique. Although Su Yang hadn't used it in a while, it didn't mean it wasn't powerful. Especially after entering the foundation establishment stage, Su Yang's internal spiritual energy had multiplied countless times. Using the Water Dragon Technique, fighting against opponents of higher levels was a piece of cake. Although Su Yang was only in the early stages of the foundation establishment stage, and had only just entered the stage a few minutes ago, he practiced a supreme technique, the 9-nether prison suppression technique. Combined with the power of the Immortal Emperor, he was completely invincible to the entire foundation establishment stage. Not to mention Wen Renai, who was in the middle stage of the foundation establishment stage, he was still confident that he could deal with even a peak foundation establishment stage opponent. It would just require some skill. Wow! The scene on the ring instantly ignited the entire audience, and everyone, whether ancient warriors or young people from the ancient clan, were stunned. Holy crap, he won already. I just blinked. What happened? Can someone tell me? Young Master Su is so strong. He just successfully established his foundation, and he defeated a mid-stage foundation establishment warrior with a single move. He's a leapfrog, invincible. What, young Master Su? That's our ancient martial arts world's leader, Alliance Master Su. Yes, yes, yes. Su Yang defeated Taoist Master Wang Yi and won first place in the 100 sex martial arts competition. He deserves the title of Alliance Master, Alliance Master Su, Alliance Master Su, Alliance Master Su. For a moment, thunderous cheers erupted, and the vast majority of the crowd acknowledged Su Yang's status as Alliance Master. When Renai, who had been knocked off the stage, stood up. Su Yang had shown mercy. His injuries were not serious, he didn't even spit out blood, but his expression was a little awkward. When Renai had assumed that, since his realm was higher than Su Yang's, he could easily win. Even if Su Yang was extraordinary, he could at most pay a price and ultimately defeat him. But in the end, Su Yang knocked him off the stage with a single blow. How humiliating, how humiliating. However, when Renai understood that Su Yang's strength far surpassed his own, and that there was no point in trying to force his position, he clasped his fists and said, "Thank you, young Master Su, for showing mercy. Well, you can handle losing." "Not bad." Su Yang nodded, then turned his gaze to Dongfang Mengri and said calmly, "Dongfang Mengri, who's next?" Dongfang Mengri met Su Yang's gaze, frowning in thought. Through Su Yang's attack, he had noticed that Su Yang's spiritual energy was incredibly pure, surpassing even his own, who was in the late foundation establishment stage. This astonished Dongfang Mengri. It was rare for someone so young to possess such formidable strength. Today's competition hinged on the leadership of the ancient martial arts revolution. Victory was imperative. Dongfang Mengri pondered this, finally reaching a decision. He chuckled softly, "Young Master Su, a true man's word is as good as gold." "Is that true?" "Of course. Just now, young Master Su said we could attack together." "I wonder if that's still true," Dongfang Mengri asked bluntly, his expression slightly embarrassed. Shame. He was leading the youth of the ancient clan to attack a cultivator who had just reached the foundation establishment stage. It was truly shameful. But Dongfang Mengri had no choice. The power to reform the ancient martial arts must rest in the hands of the ancient clan. Damn, how despicable, these ancient clan guys are so shameless. Alliance leader Su alone, taking turns to fight them, already suffered a huge loss. And they actually want to attack together. Where's their dignity? Alliance leader Su, don't agree to it. Two fists can't beat four hands. Don't be fooled, that's right, Alliance leader Su, even if you refuse, so what? It's not shameful. They're the ones who are embarrassed. The young man of the ancient clan behind Dongfang Mengri also had a grim expression. Brother Mingri, we come from the 10 great ancient clans and have condescended to come to Wudang Mountain. We have our own pride. You're asking us to join forces against someone in the early stages of Foundation establishment? This, we cannot accept, when Renai is only in the middle stage of Foundation establishment. I saw everything that happened just now. Su Yang's attack was too sudden, and when Renai was caught off guard, which is why he fell into Su Yang's trap. There's no need to make a big deal out of it. I'll go and face him alone, Dongfang Mingri. As you said before, if we attack together, it would be disgraceful if word gets out, and it would bring shame to the ancient clan. Although my elders have instructed me to obey you in everything, I apologize for this one. Several young men from the ancient clan present, filled with passion and pride, were unwilling to join forces to attack Su Yang. Immediately, a tall young man, his fist surging with spiritual energy, soared into the air and suddenly rushed towards Su Yang. Descendant of the Su family, I am from the Dugu clan. My name is Dugu Xin. I come to fight you. As soon as he finished speaking, the tall young man, Dugu Xin, was already standing before Su Yang. He was also in the middle stage of Foundation establishment, and his fists radiated a powerful aura. 100 reincarnation fist. Su Yang stood still, a confident smile on his face, before swinging his fist forward, meeting Dugu Xin. Bang! The next moment, a terrifying aftermath of battle rippled outward. The two men's fists collided, a stalemate ensuing. Silence fell, everyone's eyes fixed on the ring. 1 second. 2 seconds. 3 seconds. Dugu Xin barely held out for 3 seconds before he let out a scream and flew backwards. Soon, Dugu Xin landed heavily on the ground, sliding over 10 meters, sending up a cloud of dust. When the scene calmed down, everyone looked back to see Dugu Xin spitting out blood, clutching his injured arm, his breathing erratic. Su Yang, on the other hand, remained standing, his footing unmoved, a faint smile on his face. Undoubtedly, Su Yang had once again triumphed. While the first instantaneous defeat of a mid-stage Foundation establishment cultivator was a fluke, this time, it was a genuine, head-on clash. You're no match for that. At this point, Su Yang said disdainfully, Dongfang Mingri, you should all attack together. Don't waste time, attack. Without Su Yang's reminder, Dongfang Mingri had already communicated with the other young men of the ancient clan through his eyes. At that moment, 8 young men of the ancient clan, including Dongfang Mingri, soared into the air from 8 different directions and simultaneously charged towards the arena. Initially, they had been reluctant to join forces, feeling it would be beneath their dignity and too humiliating. But after witnessing Su Yang's prowess once again, the 8 young men of the ancient clan's expressions grew solemn. They also understood the importance of controlling the ancient martial arts revolution, so they abandoned their reservations and attacked together. Among these men were 5 mid-stage Foundation establishment cultivators and 3 late-stage Foundation establishment cultivators. Dongfang Mingri and Zai Haoji were both in the late-stage Foundation establishment stage. In addition, there was a cultivator from the Nangguang clan, a young woman in flowing green clothing, her face obscured by a veil. So what if I have more people? I'll crush you one by one with the 100 reincarnation fist. Unfazed, Su Yang soared into the air, launching into a fierce battle with 8 ancient clan prodigies. Having just entered the Foundation establishment stage, Su Yang wanted to familiarize himself with this realm, so he held back, otherwise he'd be crushing every last one with one punch. Even with this reserve of strength, Su Yang still held the upper hand against the 8, striking down each young ancient clan member. Meanwhile, near the Xianji Gate, in the shadows, 10 elders watched the battle unfolding in the ring. These 10 men, hailing from the 10 ancient clans, were among their elder masters. Among them was Zai Lui's over 300-year-old son, Zai Fanglian, of the ancient Zai clan. He had previously led several Zai clan warriors to Wudang Mountain, and was therefore unaware of the patriarch's subsequent orders. Now, witnessing Su Yang's display of prowess, the 10 elders lost their composure. Chapter 584, Defeat All. This Su Yang is worthy of being the descendant of Su Wuji. He has just entered the foundation building stage, but he actually possesses such terrifying combat power. Zifan Liang, the peak foundation building master of the Zai family, said with fear, this boy will become a great man in the future, perhaps the next Su Wuji. According to the current situation, the young people of our 10 ancient clans are bound to lose. An old man in gorgeous clothes next to him stared at Su Yang from a distance and said coldly, however, today, No matter what, the initiative of the ancient martial arts reform must be controlled by our 10 ancient clans, and Su Yang must die. Yes, this descendant of the Su family has all-powerful means. And he must not be allowed to continue to grow, another tall old man said in a deep voice. Our 10 ancient clans have been imprisoned by Su Wuji for more than 100 years. Now we have finally gained freedom. I don't want to watch the second Su Wuji invincible in the world. The tall old man is from the Zhihao family, named Zhihao Yin, and is also at the peak of the foundation building stage. The look in his eyes when he looked at Su Yang was full of murderous intent. I agree too, several elders around him agreed. However, Zifan Liang hesitated, his gaze falling on the old man in elegant attire. He said, Dongfang Yao, I know a little about what Su Yang has been up to lately. He killed your illegitimate son, Zhang Changshen, and stole the sky sword you gave him. It's understandable that you want to kill him, Zifan Liang said fearfully, but Su Wuji's fate is currently uncertain. We can kill Su Yang now, but if he returns alive, it would be a catastrophic disaster for the 10 ancient clans. Zifan Liang, what nonsense are you talking about? I don't have an illegitimate child. Don't slander me. The old man in elegant attire was Dongfang Yao, who angrily said, quickly distancing himself from Zhang Changshen. Come on, why are you pretending in front of us old men? Everyone knows your little tales, Zifan Liang retorted, not giving Dongfang Yao the slightest bit of face. Why would I pretend? I've lived a clean life. How could I have an illegitimate child? Dongfang Yao gritted his teeth. Haha, how do you explain the Kangkaiong sword? Zifan Liang argued with him and said, as far as I know, the Kangkaiong sword is a treasure of your Dongfang family. It has always been passed down only to geniuses with extraordinary talent. Why would it suddenly appear in the hands of an ancient martial artist with no background and mediocre talent? Dongfang Yao, how do you explain it? You don't mean to say that Zhang Changshen picked up the Kangkaiong sword himself, do you? Zifan Liang said with a smile. Humph, you're absolutely right. Dongfang Yao refused to admit it, saying, my Dongfang family's sky sword was lost a long time ago. It was indeed picked up by Zhang Changshen. Fuck. You're so shameless. You're swinging on dog shit and refusing to admit it. Zifan Liang was almost speechless. Finally, he sighed and said, well, forget it. I understand your situation. Your wife is the eldest daughter of the Nanguang family and holds a high position. You're afraid that they'll find out you have an illegitimate child and affect the relationship between your two families. I understand, Dongfang Yao. I was wrong about you. You don't have an illegitimate child. Zifan Liang said unscrupulously. At the same time, he glanced at the slovenly old man not far away and emphasized, Senior Nanguang, that Zhang Changshen is not Dongfang Yao's illegitimate child. Zifan Liang, Dongfang Yao was furious. He stared at Zifan Liang angrily, his eyes filled with rage, and he wanted to tear Zifan Liang apart. Okay, stop arguing. Be quiet. At this time, the slovenly old man suddenly spoke. The slovenly old man, Nanguang Yin, hailed from the Nanguang family, holding a higher generational status than anyone present. He also held the title of Patriarch of the Nanguang family, a peer of Xiloi of the Zai family. While Nanguang Yin was also at the peak of the foundation establishment stage, the gap between peak and peak was vast. Beyond these 10, there were another 30 peak-level masters lurking in the shadows. However, any one of these 10 could easily defeat those peak-level masters. If Zifan Liang, Dongfang Yao, and Zhihao Yin joined forces, they could even annihilate those 30. And Nanguang Yin, alone, in his true rage, could annihilate all the peak-level masters present, including Zifan Liang, Dongfang Yao, and the other 9. Nanguang Yin's strength was undeniable. This time at Wudang Mountain, Dongfang Mengri led the younger generation, while Nanguang Yin was the leader of the older masters. Consequently, when Nanguang Yin spoke, silence fell, and Zifan Liang and Dongfang Yao dared not speak again. Dongfang Yao, Nanguang Yin's gaze fell on Dongfang Yao, and he said lightly, I shouldn't have asked about your Enzuir's family affairs, but the matter of a legitimate child can be a big deal or a small one. There are some things I must remind you. You are the head of the Dongfang family, and you have a heavy responsibility. Zifan Liang said just now that Zhang Changshen is dead. Let the past go. Treat Zuir well in the future and don't let her down, Nanguang Yin reminded. Zuir's weight in our Nanguang family is more important than you think. If you do anything to let her down again, my Nanguang family will use all the strength of the family to make you pay the price. Senior Nangong, I understand. Dongfang Yao nodded and promised, I won't do it again in the future, haha, I won't do it again in the future. Ziffin Liang seized the handle and smiled playfully. Dongfang Yao, doesn't this mean that you have done something to let Nangguangzu down in the past? After all, Zhang Changsheng is still your illegitimate child, Zai? Fang Liang. Dongfang Yao was furious. Can you call me by my name casually? Ziffin Liang smiled lightly. Have you forgotten your father's name? It is said that he was born in the early morning, but there was no sunrise that day, and the sky was dim, so he was named Dongfang Bulian, and when I was born, although it was evening, the sunset was infinitely beautiful, so my father named me Ziffin Liang, Dongfang Bulian Ziffin Liang, haha, judging from the names, your father and I are of the same generation, Ziffin Liang said in the tone of an elder, so, Dongfang Yao, you'd better be polite to me, don't be disrespectful, you. Dongfang Yao was furious and was about to attack. Shut up, everyone. Nangguang Yin glanced toward the ring and said calmly, the younger generation is about to lose. It's our turn to take action. Dongfang Yao is right. Su Yang is too evil. He can't be left alive. Today, every ancient warrior on Wudang Mountain must be killed. Eliminate the entire clan, even if Su Wuji truly returns. We don't have to fear. No one will know it was us. As Nangguang Yin spoke, the numerous Peak Foundation establishment cultivators present reached a consensus and waited for their opportunity. Meanwhile, the competition on the ring drew to a close. Su Yang, without even using a sky sword, condensed several water dragons in quick succession, defeating all the ancient youths. Chapter 585, I want snacks, I'll give them to you. At this moment, with the exception of Wenrenai and Duguzin, who had been defeated by Su Yang earlier, the remaining 8 young men of the ancient clan lay beneath the ring, clutching their chests in agony. Defeated. The 8 of them had joined forces to besiege Su Yang, who had just entered the Foundation establishment stage, expecting victory, but the result was unexpected. Wow! This scene sent shockwaves through the crowd, and every ancient clan warrior was thrilled. Holy crap! Holy crap! Alliance Master Su, the Eternal God, 8 Foundation establishment masters, including 3 in the late Foundation establishment stage, ultimately lost to Alliance Master Su. Ho ha, I'm dying of laughter. Alliance Master Su, everyone, come and see. I've captured 8 lone warriors, so the ancient clan isn't that scary after all. They're just too weak. It's not that they're weak, it's that Alliance Master Su is too strong. The crowd was filled with emotion, their eyes ablaze with excitement as they gazed at Su Yang. A resounding victory. This was truly inspiring. The ancient clan warriors on the high seats stared at each other in amazement. No one had expected Su Yang to win. Interesting. Zeman Fengyun sat upright, looking at Su Yang with a smile on his face, not knowing what he was thinking. Haha, Master Su, well done, well done. Zhang Xianli, a straightforward man, stood up and applauded. Brother Zhang, calling him young Master Su isn't quite right now. Wang Chongyan, standing nearby, chuckled softly. Su Yang won first place in the 100 sex martial arts competition and is now the Ancient Martial Arts Alliance leader. Haha, yes, how could I have forgotten? Alliance leader Su, it's Alliance leader Su. Zhang Xianli pressed his hand against the large animal skin drum and said with a smile, Su Yang as Alliance leader, the Zhang family of Fengyang City wholeheartedly approves. Master Zeman. Wang Chongyan looked at Zeman Fengyun beside him and said with a smile, Brother Fengyun, do you agree with Su Yang becoming Alliance leader? That was decided by that person over 100 years ago. What's the use of me disagreeing? Zeman Fengyun chuckled softly. Give him the Alliance leader position. It's just an empty title. The implication was clear. Su Yang could be Alliance leader, but everyone didn't have to obey his orders. Wang Chongyan naturally understood the implication, but knowing Su Yang's relationship with the Zeman family, he didn't say anything more. Young Master Su, we've lost. At this moment, Dongfang Mingri and the others stood up. Dongfang Mingri clasped his fists and said, we accept defeat. We'll leave now and no longer hinder the transformation of ancient martial arts. Haha, not bad. My mercy paid off. Su Yang nodded in satisfaction. Showing mercy? Embarrassed, Dongfang Mingri couldn't help but ask, young Master Su, can you tell me? Did you use all your strength just now? Give me some spirit stones, and I'll tell you, Su Yang said with a playful smile. Dongfang Mingri hesitated for a long time, but finally made up his mind. Gritting his teeth, he said, okay, huh? Su Yang hadn't expected Dongfang Mingri to agree so readily. He was immediately filled with anticipation, his eyes fixed on Dongfang Mingri. But what happened next left him stunned and a bit bewildered. Dongfang Mingri pulled out a bunch of snacks, large and small, from his stored ring. Instant noodles, Maltesers, Mickey Mouse cookies, Oreos, Weilong spicy strips, cookies. He even managed to find 2 bags of snail noodles. Dongfang Mingri, what do you mean by that? Su Yang asked, puzzled. Mr. Su, didn't you ask for snacks? These are my best kept snacks, especially the snail noodles, my favorite. I'm giving them all to you now. Dongfang Mingri looked at Su Yang with a smile, then said, can you tell me now if you've used all your strength? Su Yang said unhappily, damn it, I want spirit stones, not snacks. You're asking for a pun, I don't care. I'm giving you the snacks anyway, Mr. Su. A word spoken is a promise, and a man must keep his word. Dongfang Mingri began to act like a scoundrel. This, Su Yang scowled as he put the snacks into his stored ring. After all, the words were out, and he couldn't take them back. So he telepathically told Dongfang Mingri. Dongfang Mingri's expression changed slightly upon hearing this, and he looked at Su Yang with a complicated look. In the end, he said nothing and left the scene with the gilming ancient martial arts youth. Among them, Zai Haoji gave Su Yang a gloomy look before leaving, clearly unwilling to give up. But he couldn't disobey Dongfang Mingri's wishes, and he also knew that he was no match for Su Yang, so he had no choice but to leave. However, Zai Haoji had made up his mind. When he met his family elders, he would ask them to capture Su Yang and force him to reveal his cultivation method. In this way, the 10 young men from the ancient clan came and went in a hurry. Alliance Master Su, Alliance Master Su, Alliance Master Su. After watching the 10 young men from the ancient clan walk away, the scene erupted in cheers, and the crowd was filled with excitement. Su Yang smiled, ignoring the referee. He turned directly to Wang Chongyuan and asked, Master Wang, can you take me to the Xianji sect's main hall now to begin the ancient martial arts revolution? Haha, okay. Wang Chongyuan nodded, then cast his gaze upon the people around him and said with a smile, everyone, let's go and witness the ancient martial arts revolution together. Shi Haohan, Zhang Xianli, Jin Shangsu, Du Kun, Nun Sishan, Abbot Yuantong, Su Yufeng, and many other influential figures naturally agreed. However, Zeman Fengyan said, I won't go. I'm a cultivator, and you all know my relationship with Su Yang. I won't burden you. With that, Zeman Fengyan leaped from the scene, leaving no trace of regret. Su Yang watched Zeman Fengyan's back but didn't try to stop him. He knew the monk might escape, but the temple couldn't. He would soon visit Kunlun to settle past grievances. Then, Wang Chongyuan and the many influential figures followed Su Yang into the Xianji sect's main hall. Ollie, don't follow me. I've noticed a group of old men outside who haven't left yet. They're probably from the 10 ancient clans. You stay outside and don't worry about me. Now that I've reached the foundation establishment stage, I can protect myself even against those at its peak. Before entering the hall, Su Yang secretly sent a telepathic message to Ali, then walked in with confidence. As the hall doors closed, the hearts of all the ancient martial artists present sank, their anticipation for the impending revolution in ancient martial arts overflowing. Meanwhile, Dongfang Mingri and his 10 companions, rather than reuniting with Nanguang Yin and his companions hidden in the shadows, arrived outside Wudang ancient town. The 10 young men from the ancient clans each left, leaving only the veiled woman from the Nanguang family with Dongfang Mingri. Unabashedly, she approached, took Dongfang Mingri's arm, and said with a smile, Mingri, Su Yang, what did he say to you through telepathy? Miss Nanguang Yawei, please respect yourself. Intimate contact between men and women is forbidden. Dongfang Mingri struggled to shake off the woman's arm. Bah, Nanguang Yawei rolled her eyes at Dongfang Mingri and said with a pout, Dongfang Mingri, why are you still pretending when there's no one around? Put away your disguised jade pendant. Dongfang Mingri suddenly smiled playfully upon hearing this. Then, with a flash of light, she actually developed physical characteristics only found in women. Chapter 586 Daughter. A woman. That's right. Dongfang Mingri of the Dongfang family, one of the 10 ancient clans, is not a man, but a girl. Like Sun Yixun, the descendant of the Medicine King, she wears a jade pendant that, when activated, can change her gender, transforming her into a man. Unless one is extremely powerful, this is undetectable. Even the old monsters of the ancient clans can't identify her true identity. However, Nangguang Yaowei is Dongfang Mingri's best friend and naturally knows about her situation. Yaowei, don't hug me. After all, everyone thinks I'm a man. If you often hold my arm, there will be gossip outside. Dongfang Mingri returned to his daughter's side and said playfully, it's okay for me, but it will have a bad impact on your reputation. People will gossip, tisk, I don't care. Nangguang Yaowei curled her lips and said, at worst, I will marry you, so that no one will gossip and my reputation will be saved. PFFT, Dongfang Mingri couldn't help laughing and said in rejection, Yaowei, are you stupid? I'm a female. I'm going to get married myself. How can I marry you? Get married? Nangguang Yaowei looked at Dongfang Mingri and smiled lightly. Don't dream. Don't I know the situation of your family? Your grandfather's lineage has only you as a descendant in your generation, and your great-grandfather and second-grandfather, their two lines are eyeing it covetously. They both want to seize control of the Dongfang family. Nangguang Yaowei smiled playfully and said, back then, your grandfather asked for the yin-yang jade pendant just to preserve the status of your lineage, so he let you disguise yourself as a man and inherit the position of the head of the Dongfang family. When you grow up, under such circumstances, how could your grandfather let you get married? You are already an adult now. If nothing unexpected happens, your family will probably arrange a marriage for you soon. Nangguang Yaowei continued, it would be great if you could marry me. Anyway, I know your real gender and I will keep it a secret for you. Yaowei, what are you thinking about all day? I don't want to marry a woman. Dongfang Mingri seemed very repulsed, and turned to ask curiously, by the way, don't you yearn for love? It would be great to have a romantic encounter with your favorite Prince Charming. Why do you want to marry a woman like me? Although there are many things now, and all kinds of electronic toys are popular, they are fake after all. True love is the opposite sex, Dongfang Mingri added with a smirk. Mingri, you're going to die. What about electric toys? How could you even say something like that? Nangguang Yaowei rolled her eyes at Dongfang Mingri and said, I don't want to marry those stinky men. All men are bad. I, Nangguang Yaowei, would rather be single my whole life than marry a man. Puff. Dongfang Mingri couldn't help laughing again at this, and then said, Yaowei, don't be so absolute. You haven't experienced the beauty of a man, so you say that. What do you mean, Mingri? You haven't experienced it, have you? Nangguang Yaowei's eyes widened instantly. What nonsense are you talking about? I haven't, Dongfang Mingri said with a firm face. His face flushed. No, why are you blushing? Ha, I see. Nangguang Yaowei suddenly thought of something, and then smiled playfully. Mingri, you wouldn't use the jade pendant to turn into a man and touch your, Yaowei, don't talk nonsense, I didn't. Dongfang Mingri's face turned even redder, and he quickly reached out to cover Nangguang Yaowei's mouth to stop her from continuing. It's okay if I don't say anything. Nangguang Yaowei took Dongfang Mingri's hand, and then whispered, Mingri, when you have time, can you turn into a man and let me experience it too? Impossible, you're dreaming. Dongfang Mingri refused directly, and said righteously, Nangguang Yaowei, give up this idea. I'm a sister. Okay then. Nangguang Yaowei curled her lips, a little disappointed, then thought of Su Yang, and said, by the way, Mingri, that descendant of the Su family is such a monster. He can defeat us just after stepping into the foundation building stage. Why don't you let the peak foundation building masters hiding in the dark rush out and wipe out the roots? Well, Dongfang Mingri smiled when he heard this, and explained, Su Yang's recent deeds have long been spread to the 10 ancient clans. He killed Zhang Changsheng from the Iron Fist sect, and Zhang Changsheng is the illegitimate son of my great-grandfather Dongfang Yao. Dongfang Mingri continued, my great-grandfather always opposed me at home. Su Yang killed Zhang Changsheng, and I'm somewhat grateful to him. Plus, we agreed before the competition that if we lost, we'd have to leave Wudang Mountain. I couldn't go back on my word. Dongfang Mingri's lips curled as he continued, of course, most importantly, before I came to Wudang, someone called me and pleaded for Su Yang. Oh? Who? Nangguang Yaowei asked, puzzled. My cousin, Sun Yixun, Dongfang Mingri said. Is that the heir of the Medicine King Palace? Yes, Dongfang Mingri nodded and said, my cousin's situation is so similar to mine. Even the yin-yang jade pendant on me comes from the Sun family. She also has to present herself as a man because of inheritance issues. We two are in the same boat. Dongfang Mingri sighed, and then said, "Before coming, we were talking on the phone. I told her that I was going to Wudang Mountain. She asked me to help Su Yang to the best of my ability, and I agreed." "How does Sun Yixun know Su Yang?" Nanguang Yaowei asked puzzledly. Besides being a descendant of the Su family, Su Yang also holds another title, the Master of the Medicine King Palace. Dongfang Mengri said, "The Medicine King Palace was founded by the Sun family, but later, for some reason, the medical saint Zhang Hongjing also took over. Since then, the position of master has been passed down from one family to the next, determined by their ability." In short, the situation here is very complicated, and it's hard to explain it in a few words, but the Medicine King Sun family's strength is no less than that of our 10 ancient clans. Dongfang Mengri chuckled softly. "My cousin was born without the wisdom to cultivate, unable to practice Taoism, and can only cultivate ancient martial arts. Her talent is also average, but she has an instant understanding of medicine and is extremely obsessed with it. Some time ago, the Medicine King Palace held a medical conference, and she attended, but lost to Su Yang. I guess she and Su Yang met at that time." Dongfang Mengri continued, "My cousin is dedicated to protecting the Medicine King Palace, and Su Yang became its master. So it's only natural for her to plead on his behalf, and I naturally have to give her that honor." "I see," Nanguang Yaowei nodded, then said. "What about the ancient martial arts transformation? Do we really have to let Su Yang start the ancient martial arts transformation?" If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 587 Fuma is here. That, Dongfang Mengri paused, then smiled and said, "That's not our concern. Do you think our elders would trust us to bring people to Wudang?" "What do you mean? Are the elders of the ancient clan here too?" Nanguang Yaowei asked in surprise, clearly unaware of this. "Yes," Dongfang Mengri nodded and said, "They're here. They're probably in Wudang Mountain right now. Xia Haoji, Wenrenai, Du Guzin, and the others have probably been summoned back by the elders through telepathy. They're probably reunited with them now, and they must be trying to stop Su Yang from initiating the ancient martial arts reform." "That's not right. If that were the case, our Nangong family elders would definitely be here too. Why didn't I receive any telepathy?" Nanguang Yaowei asked, puzzled. "If nothing unexpected happens, the person coming from our Dongfang family this time should be my great-grandfather Dongfang Yao," Dongfang Mengri speculated. "He's been displeased with me for a long time, so naturally he wouldn't send me a message. As for you, I guess the person coming is your ancestor, Nanguang Yin. He's conservative, still stuck in an era where men are superior to women. He believes that women shouldn't participate in major events, so he didn't notify you," Dongfang Mengri said. "Indeed, my ancestor was too patriarchal." "No, it should be said that he was patriarchal." Nanguang Yaowei, slightly annoyed, turned puzzled and asked, "Mengri, since no one told you, how did you know?" "I guessed," Dongfang Mengri said. "Mengri, you're so smart. I feel so safe with you. Just marry me," Nanguang Yaowei said with sudden admiration. "Go away. I like men. I, Dongfang Mengri, don't have many wishes in this life. I only hope that God will give me a healthy and strong partner of my dreams before I die," Dongfang Mengri prayed earnestly, and then began to wear the jade pendant. The physical characteristics that once belonged to a woman gradually disappeared. She turned into a man again. Next, the elegant young man Dongfang Mengri, together with Nanguang Yaowei, left Wudang Mountain. Although she guessed that Wudang Mountain would not be peaceful in the future, she did not want to wade into muddy waters. At this moment, Wudang Mountain. 30 people at the peak of Foundation Building were hiding in the dark, waiting for orders. Nanguang Yin, Zifan Liang, Dongfang Yao and 10 others did not rush to take action. In addition, Xia Haoji, Wenren Yi, Du Guzin, these young people of the same generation have all arrived. Among them, Xia Haoji could not wait to say, "Senior Nanguang, the descendants of the Su family must have entered the hall to start the ancient martial arts reform. What are we waiting for? We might as well rush in and get rid of everyone to stop the reform." Others at the scene also looked at Nanguang Yin, obviously wondering why Nanguang Yin had not given orders yet. "No rush," Nanguang Yin chuckled softly. "An old friend is on his way. When he arrives, We'll round him up and wipe them out before any escape. I understand the ancient martial arts revolution. It won't happen overnight. It'll take at least half an hour for it to fully unfold. We have a chance to stop it, Nanguang Yin explained. An old friend? Round him up? Everyone was bewildered after hearing this. Haha, an old friend is here. Just then, Nanguang Yin suddenly revealed a playful smile. Let's go. It's our turn to take action. With that, Nanguang Yin led Dong Fangyao, Zifan Liang, and the others, along with several younger members and 30 Peak Foundation establishment cultivators, out from the shadows. A mighty and menacing procession of over 50 appeared before everyone's eyes. Oh shit, look! There's so many people coming over there. Who are they? Their aura is so strong. Isn't that the young man from the ancient clan? I think his name is Zia Haoji. Didn't he leave? Why is he back? Could those old guys next to him be the elders of the ancient clan? Of course they are. Judging from their appearance, I'm afraid they're here with ill intentions. This is going to be a disaster. Now, numerous ancient warriors, from the leaders of small sects to the young geniuses of the greatest powers, gathered outside the Xianji sect's main hall. Seeing Nanguang Yin and the others appear, they were terrified and began to panic. Some even tried to escape, but Nanguang Yin killed them. With a mere wave of his hand, the fleeing Xianzong ancient warriors were reduced to a pool of blood, their bodies torn to pieces. Surround this place and prevent anyone from leaving alive, Nanguang Yin then gave the order. Yes, upon receiving Nanguang Yin's order, 30 cultivators at the peak of the Foundation establishment stage immediately dispersed, simultaneously unleashing their spiritual senses. 30 Peak Foundation establishment cultivators, the equivalent of 30 Peak land martial gods. Such a formidable force left the ancient martial artists present powerless to resist. At this moment, Nanguang Yin was flanked by Dong Fangyao, Zifan Liang, and others, alongside the younger generations of the Zihao family and Wen Renai. They stood outside the Xianji Gate's main hall, but did not immediately enter. Old friends, now that you're here, why don't you show up? Suddenly, Nanguang Yin raised his head and sneered at the air. If you don't show up, I'll storm the hall and disrupt the ancient martial arts revolution. Nanguang Yin, after over 100 years, your vigilance has improved considerably. Suddenly, an elderly figure appeared before everyone. He was dressed in linen, his hair and beard white. He wasn't tall, but the aura he exuded was unnerving. The moment the linen-clad elder appeared, his terrifying presence stirred up a cloud of dust, forming a small tornado that swept across the entire venue. Haha, Qianian Shan, you old bastard, your strength has improved tremendously. Not only have you reached the pinnacle of the martial god, but your aura is also so formidable. I'm sure you've gained a great opportunity from that supreme treasure, haven't you? Nanguang Yin glared at the old man in hemp clothes and sneered. Qianian Shang. This old man in hemp clothes was Jin Shangsu's grandfather, the former leader of Jilfang Mountain, Qianian Shang. Nanguang Yin, stop talking nonsense. Qianian Shang met Nanguang Yin's gaze and said in a deep voice, while I'm here today, you won't be able to enter the hall and disrupt the ancient martial arts revolution. With that, Qianian Shang opened his palm, and a palm-sized object suddenly emerged from it. If Su Yang saw this, he would be shocked. This was actually the 4th floor of the Void Tower. Originally, this object had been stolen by Su Xing, but Su Xing was taken back to Jilfang Mountain by Jin Shangsu's men, and Qianian Sha had retrieved it. With a supreme treasure in hand, Qianian Sha felt incredibly confident, and Zhou Shen's aura grew even stronger. Haha, Qianian Sha. A man who rose to prominence thanks to his wife, what qualifications do you have to be so arrogant? Nanguang Yin sneered upon hearing this. If it weren't for your wife, Wu Kengying, would you have obtained this treasure? Now that Wu Kengying is dead, Qianian Sha, in my eyes, you're just an ant. Humph. Qianian Sha snorted, his eyes darkening as his inner ki surged. You're the arrogant one. My strength is more than enough to deal with you. Haha, ignorance is bliss. Qianian Sha. Look here, 30 or 40 Peak Foundation establishment masters. Do you think you can stop me alone? Nanguang Yin sneered. Then, how about adding me? Unexpectedly, as Nanguang Yin finished his words, an old, unmistakable voice echoed from afar. Immediately afterwards, a hunched old woman with a wrinkled face slowly approached, fully visible to the crowd. Fu Ma, here she comes. Chapter 588 Take Action. Swish, swish, swish. As Fu Ma appeared, everyone's eyes fell on her. It's her. I saw her over 20 years ago, that's right. A descendant of the Su family also participated in the 100 sex martial arts competition. It was this old woman who accompanied us throughout. At that time, many forces involved in the destruction of the Kunlun Su family wanted to keep the Su family's descendants, but no one dared to take action. This is the last remaining member of the Su family. It is said that her name is Miss Furin. Over 100 years ago, she single-handedly fought her way out of a bloody battle and rescued Su Wuji's biological son, Su Qianqian. I didn't expect Senior Furin to still be alive. Great. The 10 ancient clans are about to attack the hall and disrupt the ancient martial arts reform. Senior Qianqian of Jilfang Mountain has stepped in. Now with Senior Furin, perhaps they can stop the 10 ancient clans. For a moment, everyone was talking, and their hopes for the ancient martial arts reform were pinned on Fuma and Qianqian. The 30 Peak Foundation establishment cultivators around them all looked uncomfortable after Fuma's appearance, clearly feeling immense pressure. Nangguangyin paused slightly, clearly not noticing Fuma's arrival. However, after a brief moment of surprise, Nangguangyin smiled and greeted, Miss Furin, long time no see. Nangguangyin. Fuma stopped, met Nangguangyin's gaze, and said lightly, it's indeed been a long time. The last time I followed my master to visit the Nangguang family was more than 140 years ago. Yes, Nangguangyin recalled. At that time, Miss Furin, you were still a little girl. I didn't expect that now. Half of your body is buried in the loess. If you had followed your master Su Wuji to practice Taoism, perhaps you could have kept your youthful appearance and not aged like this. Nangguangyin looked at Fuma and asked curiously, Miss Furin, do you ever regret practicing ancient martial arts? No. Fuma shook her head and said seriously, before my master left, he told me that in a few years, ancient martial arts would inevitably undergo a transformation and grow into the second largest system that is not inferior to Taoism. Counting the days, it should be today. Why should I regret it? Haha, I didn't know this news. Originally, I didn't know whether the ancient martial arts reform was a good thing or a bad thing. But after hearing what you said, I can't let it go smoothly. Nangguangyin narrowed his eyes and smiled. Miss Furin, take my advice and leave now. I'll pretend nothing happened. You may not know, but Su Yang, a descendant of the Su family, has won first place, become the leader of the Ancient Martial Arts Alliance, and is initiating the ancient martial arts reform in the main hall. Nangguangyin stroked his beard and said, don't worry. For Su Wuji's sake, I won't harm him. You can take him away with you. Originally, Nangguangyin planned to completely eliminate Su Yang and everyone present. However, upon seeing Fuma, Nangguangyin became slightly wary. Furthermore, with a precious treasure in his possession, the Millennium Killer's power was not to be underestimated. Therefore, Nangguangyin, unwilling to engage in a major conflict, changed his mind and decided to simply stop the ancient martial arts reform. The transformation of ancient martial arts is a plan orchestrated by my master, Su Wuji, and that all-powerful figure. No one may interfere. Nangguangyin, I will not compromise on this matter. Fuma stared at Nangguangyin fiercely and said in a deep voice, I can give you a chance. Take the people of the 10 ancient clans and leave Wudang Mountain. Haha, so there's no room for negotiation? Don't blame me then. Nangguangyin sneered, I've brought 30 or 40 Peak Foundation establishment masters with me this time. I'm afraid you two alone can't stop me. With that, Nangguangyin signaled with his eyes for the masters of the ancient clans to take action. Miss Furin, I've been to Kunlun Mountain and received guidance from Senior Su Wuji. Do you remember me? At this moment, Qianqian Sha looked at Fuma with a very polite attitude. I don't remember. Fuma shook her head and said, but I have an impression of your wife, the #1 martial god, Wu Qingying. Is she okay now, Qingying? Hey, forget it, let's not talk about it. Qianqian Sha sighed, and then said, Miss Furin, the destruction of Kunlun Mountain more than 100 years ago, the actions of the major sects were too sudden. I was in Jilfang Mountain and knew nothing about it. Senior Su Wuji was kind enough to give me guidance. If I had known in advance, I would have gone to Kunlun to lend a helping hand to the Su family. Unfortunately, when I knew about it, the Su family had already been destroyed, and everything was too late. It's useless for you to come, you can't help, Fuma said bluntly. If your wife Wu Qingying were present, perhaps the situation could be changed. Qianqian Sha was a little embarrassed by what he said. Although I'm not as good as my wife, I can't say it so directly, right? Ahem. Thousand-Year Killer coughed dryly, then said, Miss Furin, we can finally fight side by side. After so many years of silence, it's time for us old folks to do something for the ancient clans. Today, let's join forces and slaughter the 10 ancient clans on Wudang Mountain. Let's show the ancient martial arts world that they are no longer vulnerable. You take care of the slaughter, I'll take care of the slaughter, Fu Ma said calmly, then surged with true energy, charging directly at the 30 peak level Foundation Establishment warriors. These 30, hailing from the 10 ancient clans, were all top-notch masters. Fu Ma instantly repelled 2 of them, then engaged the other 30. 1 against 30, no match at all. True energy and spiritual energy surged through the scene. The crowd retreated to avoid the aftermath of the battle. Haha, Miss Furin, I didn't expect your comprehension of the martial god realm to reach this level. I'm ashamed of myself, but I'm lucky. I possess a supreme treasure. With its blessing, I won't lose to you. Seeing this, Qianian Shan, holding the 4th floor of the Void Tower, joined the melee. Next, the 2 of them could be seen overwhelming 30 peak Foundation Establishment cultivators. Peak Foundation Establishment is equivalent to peak martial god, Miss Furin and Senior Qianian Shan, so powerful. 2 against 30, and still holding the upper hand. Who said ancient martial artists are inferior to cultivators? Go ahead, seniors. In the crowd, the geniuses who had previously participated in the 100 sex martial competition watched the fight from afar, collectively silent. Is this peak martial god and Foundation Establishment? I'm still a long way off. After a long silence, Zeman Longine shook his head and let out a wry smile. Amitabha, the path of cultivation is endless. Just be open-minded and don't get too attached. Buddhist disciple Wuji clasped his hands together and chanted the Buddha's name. Although he said this, a hint of yearning welled up in his eyes. I wonder if the ancient martial arts transformation can still be started. Du Fiang, who was standing beside him, couldn't help but mutter to himself. For a moment, Zhao Zihiro, Shima Shei, Mo Dao Gongzi and many other geniuses all looked towards the hall. However, the old poisonous creature Lin Yuan's gaze fell on Zhen Wu Ayao, and he suddenly said, people from the ancient clan are trying to stop the ancient martial arts transformation. Aren't you going to take action? Chapter 589 Zhen Wu Ayao's hidden strength. Zhen Wu Ayao paused briefly, then met Lin Yuan's gaze. He took a sip of his wine and said with a smile, you're joking. I'm only halfway to the Foundation Establishment stage. How can I possibly attack you? You're halfway to the Foundation Establishment stage? Lin Yuan smiled and said playfully, haha, you can fool others, but not me. This wine gourd of yours must be a treasure of the Duanmu family. Your status in the Duanmu family must be quite high. Lin Yuan continued, if I'm not mistaken, your strength is comparable to that of Nanguang Yin. Are you from the same generation, huh? Zhen Wu Ayao suddenly became serious upon hearing this and asked, who told you that? I told you, you can't fool me. To be precise, we're from the same generation, Lin Yuan said slowly. Lin Yuan, you old bastard, haha, it's true that people become more cunning with age. No wonder they say they're cunning and sly, Zhen Wu Ayao said with a smile. Lin Yuan said calmly, same here, old poisonous man, you've been hiding your strength at the 100 sex martial competition. Why don't you reveal it? Zhen Wu Ayao demanded. You're stronger than me. Even if I put all my strength into it, I can't defeat you. Instead of that, I might as well just pretend and give you a casual fight, Lin Yuan continued. My goal has never been to win first place in the 100 sex martial competition. Oh, Zhen Wu Ayao demanded. I can sense a powerful force within you. What exactly do you want? What do you want? Lin Yuan met Zhen Wu Ayao's gaze and questioned. Forget it. I hope we're not on the same page, or else, don't blame me for being rude, Zhen Wu Ayao threatened. I'll tell you the same thing, Lin Yuan said calmly, then stopped talking to Zhen Wu Ayao and looked up at the fight ahead. In the corner, Wang Fuge, Zhang Magu, Shi Jiushan, and the others watched from afar, their hearts filled with anxiety. As for Ali, she stood aside, well hidden, and didn't attract the attention of Nanguang Yin and the others. At this moment, Eri glanced at Nanguang Yin, her brow furrowed slightly. She had sensed his power and felt a slight fear, but at the same time, a strong desire to fight welled up within her. But Nanguang Yin didn't make a move, so Eri could only watch from the sidelines, biding her time. Elsewhere, Lan Maiyi, alone, veiled, silently observed all this. Now, Su Yang had successfully won first place in the 100 sex martial arts competition, fulfilling his promise to her. Lan Maui had considered leaving, but after Su Yang entered the main hall, the 10 ancient clans united to attack. She was caught in the crowd, targeted by a Peak Foundation establishment cultivator, and her escape was impossible. Even if she could leave, Lan Maui wouldn't, deeply concerned for Su Yang's safety. Young Master Su, according to the agreement made by the great geniuses, whoever takes first place in the 100 sex martial arts competition will have the right to marry me. You've successfully won first place, and now I'm your woman, Lan Maui muttered to herself. Young Master Su, I hope you're safe. At this moment, inside the main hall, Wang Chongyuan and the others had already noticed the commotion outside, but they didn't leave. Fu Ma, Miss Furin, it's actually Fu Ma. At this moment, Su Yang sensed Fu Ma's presence and heard her voice. Confirming she had arrived, he was stunned. After realizing what was happening, Su Yang let out a wry smile. So the martial god was right beside me, and I had no idea. Fu Ma was hiding so well. Then, Su Yang's gaze fell on Wang Chongyuan, and asked, Master Wang, so many people at the peak of the foundation building stage have come from the 10 ancient clans. Why don't we go out and take a look? No need. Wang Chongyuan shook his head and said, although we old guys have set foot on the land of martial gods, some of us old guys are at the peak of martial gods. However, the gap between the peaks is very large. Even if we go out, it will not be of much use. At most, we can clamp down on a few people at the peak of the foundation building stage. It's meaningless, Wang Chongyuan continued. Instead of that, it would be better to let a few old guys lend you a hand and strive to start the ancient martial arts reform as soon as possible. That's right, Jin Shangsu nodded after hearing this and said, Su Yang, Master Wang is right. Let my grandfather and Fu Ma deal with the things outside. Let's start the ancient martial arts reform. Once the ancient martial arts reform is successful, the ancient martial arts world will undergo earth-shaking changes. Jin Shangsu agreed with Wang Chongyuan. Yes, Su Yang nodded slightly, and then suddenly asked curiously, Zuir, you have lived in Jiangbei for a few years. I remember that you have a good relationship with Fu Ma after you left. Fu Ma often talked about you. Did you know that Fu Ma is the god of war on land? This, Jin Shangsu did not hide it. She gathered the hair on her forehead and smiled. Well, before coming to Jiangbei, my grandmother told me that Fu Ma also knew my true identity, but I didn't let her tell you. Even Grandpa Su and Uncle Su didn't know. Not only that, when Yao Yao went to Jiangbei some time ago, I found Fu Ma and asked her to use the disguise technique to disguise me into her appearance. Su Yang paused, and then smiled bitterly. Okay, it turned out that it was you, Fu Ma, who ruined my good thing with Fei Zhuan in the villa by the river. No wonder I always felt that Fu Ma was not right. After this ancient martial arts reform, I will definitely find a soft big bed and teach you a lesson, Su Yang said with a playful smile. As soon as these words were spoken, many of the ancient martial arts masters present averted their gazes. Abbot Yuantong of Mount Bodhi even clasped his hands together and chanted Amitabha. Su Yang, Jin Shangsu blushed. It's such a time, and you're still saying such things. Let's quickly initiate the ancient martial arts reform. Yes, 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 Wang Zhongyan, standing beside her, urged. The ancient martial arts reform is crucial. Young Master Su, please come this way. Okay, Su Yang nodded, putting his thoughts aside, and followed Wang Zhongyan deeper into the hall. Soon, the group reached the innermost part of the hall, where a circular platform emanated a faint light. Young Master Su, please take a seat on the platform, Wang Zhongyan said. Su Yang obeyed, soaring into the air and appearing atop the platform in the next moment, sitting cross-legged. Buzz! At the same moment, the faint light surrounding the platform suddenly became dazzling, exceptionally bright. At the same time, a powerful force formed a square barrier that surrounded Su Yang. On the surface, Su Yang was like a prisoner, imprisoned by the light curtain. In fact, it was indeed the case. Su Yang was surprised to find that he could not get out, and was immediately horrified. P.S. It has been a long time since I left a message. If you have any opinions, please raise them. I will accept them humbly. In addition, creation is not easy. If you have time, please send a free gift. Please. Chapter 590 Gift. What's going on? Su Yang frowned, raised his fist, and unleashed the 100 reincarnation fist, but still couldn't shake the light curtain even a bit. Young Master Su, don't move. This light curtain won't harm you. Once the ancient martial arts transformation is activated, it will automatically dissipate, and you'll be free. Wang Zhongyan stepped forward to explain. I see, Su Yang nodded, then said, now that I'm seated, how can the ancient martial arts transformation be activated? I heard from my master that the blood of a descendant of the Su family is required to activate it. Wang Zhongyan chuckled softly. Young Master Su, please drip your fingertip blood into the slot on the lower right corner. Su Yang frowned slightly, but didn't immediately do as Wang Zhongyan instructed. Instead, he carefully surveyed the circular platform. Then, to his surprise, he discovered a massive formation all around him. This formation could connect heaven and earth, even shielding the secrets of the heavens. It was incredibly powerful. Buzz! At this moment, Su Yang raised his hand and placed it on the light curtain in front of him. With a thud, the next moment, dense patterns appeared on the light curtain. In addition, the entire hall was covered with runes, emitting a brilliant light and a terrifying power. This grand formation, with a main hall as its foundation, is spread out in a crisscross pattern. It is complicated and intricate, and what a massive undertaking, Su Yang said in shock. What do you mean by starting a revolution in ancient martial arts? This is clearly about starting this formation, I understand. The ancient martial arts system was created, and the peak of the land martial god is the end point. There is no subsequent realm, and the master who arranged this formation wanted to use his own strength to continue the realm of the ancient martial arts system, allowing ancient martial artists to go longer and farther. It's just that this grand formation is too mysterious. Who on earth can arrange such a formation? Could it be the legendary figure? Su Yang was full of doubts, and suddenly thought of what Wang Zhongyan had just said, and immediately asked, Master Wang, you said before that this grand formation requires the blood of the descendants of the Su family to activate. Yes, Wang Zhongyan nodded without hiding anything. Isn't it rumored outside that only the first-place winner of the 100-sex martial arts competition is qualified to activate it, in accordance with destiny? Su Yang frowned and asked, why are you telling me now that only the blood of a descendant of the Su family can activate it? Young Master Su, what you heard is correct. Those words were passed down by my great-grandmaster. Indeed, only the first-place winner of the 100-sex martial arts competition is qualified to activate this grand formation and thus initiate the transformation of ancient martial arts. Wang Zhongyan chuckled softly, but my great-grandmaster also said something, only to me, that is, first place in the 100-sex martial arts competition must belong to a descendant of the Su family, and no one can take it away. Wang Zhongyan continued, originally, I didn't believe it, and I didn't want to put the future of the ancient martial arts world in the hands of an unfamiliar person. So I asked my disciple Wang Yi to take action to defeat you and allow Wu Dang to control everything. Unfortunately, my disciple failed. It seems my great-grandmaster's deduction was correct. Wang Zhongyan added, Young Master Su, I know you have many doubts in your heart, but I don't know much, and I've told you everything for now. The reform of ancient martial arts is imminent. Please complete it as soon as possible, Mr. Su. By the way, Wang Zhongyan continued, there is one more thing, that is, once this formation is opened and the ancient martial arts reform is successful, as the initiator, Mr. Su can get the right to let 10 people he is familiar with step into that new realm in one step. Anyone can be chosen. Su Yang suddenly became interested. Yes, Wang Zhongyan nodded and said, no matter what realm the other party was in before, as long as they are ancient warriors and have true energy in their bodies, even if they are thousands of miles away, they can still receive the gifts from the Great Formation and instantly enter a whole new realm above the land martial god, and it will not affect future cultivation. It is not a sudden enlightenment. You will even gain benefits. Your talent can also be greatly improved. Your future achievements are limitless. That's great. Su Yang was a little excited, and then asked, what is the name of the realm above the land martial god? Haha, that depends on how you name it, young Master Su. Wang Zhongyan laughed and said, above the land martial god, there is no realm, so naturally there is no name. Young Master Su, you are the pioneer, so call it whatever you want. Okay, I understand. Su Yang nodded, and then looked at Jin Shangsu next to him and asked, I'm not very good at naming. Zuier, what name do you think is more appropriate? Jin Shangsu pondered for a moment, and then said, the martial god realm has the word god in it, and it feels like it belongs to the top realm of ancient martial arts. However, the current martial god has a prefix. The full name is land martial god. Adding the word land makes it seem lower class. Jin Shangsu analyzed the situation first, then said, "This way, the next realm will be relatively simple. Above land martial god, there could be martial honored, and after that, martial saint." Jin Shangsu continued, "Above martial saint, we could return to martial god, without the prefix, just the word martial god, representing the pinnacle of the ancient martial arts system." "How about that?" "Haha, sure, Alliance leader Jin, that's a good idea," Wang Zhongyan praised. "Alright, let's follow Zuir's suggestion." Su Yang nodded, then said, "I already know the method for the ancient martial arts transformation. I can activate this formation myself. You can stay here and protect me. I can't be disturbed." Jin Shangsu, Wang Zhongyan, Abbot Yuantong, Du Kun, Su Yufeng, Zhang Xianli, and many other experts agreed. Immediately afterwards, Su Yang bit his finger and dripped his blood into the card slot, then focused his attention on studying the formation. He had already determined that to activate it, he first needed a primer. Su Yang didn't know what this primer was, but it was definitely something special, something specific to the person who set up the formation. If used incorrectly, it would be like not having a key. No matter who sat on the circular platform, they would be unable to activate the formation. According to Wang Zhongyan, Su Yang knew that the primer was the blood of a descendant of the Su family, so he decided to try. And it worked. The primer was correct. This further puzzled Su Yang. Why was this formation connected to him? However, the important thing was to initiate the ancient martial arts revolution, so Su Yang didn't waste time and focused his attention. The second condition to activate the formation was even more difficult, mastery of the formation. The primer was like a key to a gate, but even having a key didn't guarantee it would open the door. Therefore, a master of the formation was needed to thoroughly study it. Both conditions were essential, and Su Yang met them all. In other words, apart from Su Yang, no one in the world can change ancient martial arts. Chapter 591 in Nangguang Yin takes action, versus Eri. Buzz. As Su Yang's mind settled, the light emanating from the circular platform grew even more dazzling, enveloping the entire hall. The runes on the light curtain began to move like tadpoles. "Give me half an hour." Su Yang sat cross-legged on the circular platform, eyes slightly closed, and muttered, "I need half an hour. In half an hour, this formation will activate, and at the same time, the ancient martial arts transformation will begin. I cannot be disturbed for half an hour, otherwise all my efforts will be wasted." With these words, Su Yang settled his mind and focused on studying the formation. He also sent a telepathic message to Eri, instructing her not to attack until she was exposed and to protect the circular platform. "Young Master Su, rest assured. Even if it costs us our lives, we won't let those from the ancient clan get close," Wang Chongyan responded solemnly, then looked around the room and said seriously, "Everyone, I'm sure you've heard what young Master Su said. Today is a crucial moment for the ancient martial arts world. I hope everyone can unite and work together to make it a better place." Abbot Yuantong, Nun Sishan, Brother Shi, I'm well aware of your strengths. Wang Chongyan looked at the three strongest individuals present and said sternly, "You've been at the peak of the land martial god realm for countless years, and your lifespans are nearing their end. If the ancient martial arts transformation is successful, you can take that step immediately, and your lifespans will naturally increase." Wang Chongyan's gaze fell on Shi Haohan again, and he continued, "Brother Shi, you're the youngest among us. Logically, you still have at least 200 or 300 years to live, but you've lost 99 Taishan divine arts, and the damage is immense. If you can reach a new realm after the ancient martial arts revolution, perhaps you can break the curse that Taishan's divine skills are limited to 100. So, the three of us, today, we are not doing this for others, but only for ourselves. We must give it our all," Wang Zhongyan added. "Master Wang, you don't need to remind us of this, we are aware of it. Although I have no fondness for Su Yang, and even dislike him, I also clearly distinguish between public and private matters," said Nun Sishan. Amitabha, Abbot Yuantong clasped his hands together and said, "Only by saving yourself can you save others. Master Wang, I will do my utmost. I have nothing much to say. I don't think highly of Su Yang, but I'm more interested in seeing what the ancient martial arts world looks like after its revolution," said Shi Haohan. "That's good." Wang Zhongyan stroked his beard and nodded with satisfaction. Shi Haohan, Nun Sishan, and Abbot Yuantong, all three of them were at the peak of the land martial god realm. Adding himself, there were 4 at the peak of the land martial god realm. all far superior to ordinary peak-level masters. Even if the 10 ancient clans rushed in, he and his group should be able to hold them off for a while. Meanwhile, outside the main hall, hundreds of onlookers watched the battle unfold from afar. Meanwhile, Fumai and Qianian Sha faced 30 peak foundation establishment cultivators, holding their own. Several were even knocked to the ground, their strength incapacitated. Dongfang Yao, Zifan Liang, Zai Hao Yin, all of you, attack. Show no mercy. Kill Fu Rong and Qianian Shan, Nanguang Yin commanded. Yes, Dongfang Yao obeyed. Immediately leaping out with Zai Hao Yin and the others to join the fray. Zifan Liang hesitated for a few seconds before finally following Nanguang Yin's lead. While the 9 of them were also at the peak of foundation establishment, their combat effectiveness was significantly higher. With the addition of Dongfang Yao and the others, Fumai and Qianian Sha were clearly struggling. However, Fumai and Qianian Sha were formidable, and they wouldn't be defeated for a while. After receiving Su Yang's order, Ali guarded the main hall entrance. Nearby were the 5 Duan brothers, Wang Fuge, Zhang Magu, Shi Jiushan, and others. Miss Ali, those 2 seniors seem to be unable to hold out. Should we attack? Duan Qingming, the head of the Duan family, asked politely. Not yet, Ali said calmly, we only need to hold out for half an hour. It seems they can hold out for half an hour, you just wait here. If the ancient clan has a backup plan, it won't be too late for you to attack, Ali said. Okay, Duan Qingming nodded politely and then led his 4 brothers to stand aside. Senior Nanguang, the descendants of the Su family are in the main hall. Wang Shuangyan, the leader of the Xianji sect, Shi Haohan, the master of Mount Tai, Yuantong abbot of Mount Bodhi, Nun Sishan of Mount Emei, and several other ancient martial arts masters are also in the main hall. At this moment, Zai Haoji looked at Nanguang Yin and whispered. Well, those people aren't anything to be feared. If you count carefully, there are only 2 of them who are truly masters in the ancient martial arts world. Nanguang Yin smiled and turned his gaze towards the main hall. Naturally, he noticed Ali and frowned, saying, I've had my eye on you from the very beginning. I didn't expect that at such a young age. You've already reached the peak of the foundation establishment stage. Your aura is even stronger than the young prodigies of the 10 ancient clans. Who are you? Nanguang Yin asked. Swish, swish, swish. Everyone present knew that Nanguang Yin was the leader of the ancient clans, so as Nanguang Yin spoke, all eyes turned to him. Ali, however, acted as if she hadn't heard him, expressionless, and didn't answer Nanguang Yin's question. If you don't want to answer, then forget it. But are you standing there trying to stop me from entering the main hall? Nanguang Yin continued, releasing a terrifying aura that swept over them. Eri, despite Nanguang Yin's pressure, remained calm and said calmly, Are you blind? Can't you see? How dare you? Nanguang Yin was furious, his eyes darkening as he unleashed a terrifying aura. HMPH, Eris snorted coldly, raising her hand and instantly dispelling Nanguang Yin's attack. Haha, little girl, you're quite impressive. You actually managed to take my blow, Nanguang Yin sneered, but I want to see how long you can hold out against me. With that, Nanguang Yin's smile vanished, and he soared into the air, charging straight at Eri. Without hesitation, Eri attacked, her body enveloped in aura, charging forward. But remembering Su Yang's warning, she didn't activate her ultimate form, hoping to stall for time. Bang! 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 Then, Nanguang Yin and Eri engaged in a mid-air clash, a terrifying aura raging and the sound of exploding air echoing incessantly. This little girl is probably already invincible at the peak of the foundation establishment stage. If I don't take that step, I'm afraid I won't be her match. This is going to be difficult. Nanguang Yin became more and more frightened as the fight went on. He began to think of a countermeasure. Finally, his eyes fell on Jun Wu Yao below and he shouted, Duan Wu Yao, you old thing, are you addicted to watching the show? How long are you going to watch it? Chapter 592, Battle Breaks Out. Jun Wu Yao, as mentioned before, is from the Duanmu family, and his real name is Duanmu Wu Yao. His purpose in coming to Wudang Mountain this time is unknown, and he had previously been watching the battle from the sidelines. At this moment, hearing Nanguang Yin mention his name, Jun Wu Yao first took a sip of wine, then revealed a smile. Nanguang Yin, did I say I would take action? Before coming to Wudang Mountain this time, the 10 ancient clans gathered to discuss, and it was you who took the initiative to ask Ying to lead the team. I gave this opportunity to you and did not compete with you, Zheng Wuao met Nan Guangyin's gaze and smiled lightly. Why, do you want me to help you now, Duan Wuao? Are you angry with me? Nan Guangyin said in a deep voice. It seems I need to remind you that if the ancient martial arts reform is successful, the ancient martial arts world will most likely develop in a good direction. By then, it will be unprecedentedly grand, and there will be no place for our 10 ancient clans in the world. If you take action now, you are not helping me, but helping the 10 ancient clans and the Duanmu family. Zheng Wuao said playfully. I also need to remind you that I am no longer a member of the Duanmu family. Have you forgotten that I was expelled from the Duanmu family by the ancestor of the Duanmu family many years ago? Now I am just an abandoned child of the Duanmu family. I have even changed my name. I am Zheng Wuao, not Duanmu Wuao. Zheng Wuao said seriously. The rise and fall of the Duanmu family, and even the 10 ancient clans, what do they have to do with me? You? Nan Guangyin said coldly. Duanmu Wuao, if I remember correctly, the Duanmu Liu of Country D should be your brother. Right, so what? Some time ago, he was killed by the descendants of the Su family, and his descendants were also wiped out by Su Yang. Nan Guangyin continued. Zheng Wuao, Su Yang is in the hole now. Why don't you kill him and avenge your brother's family? I know about this, but what does it have to do with me? He brought this upon himself. Zheng Wuao shook his head and said, as for revenge, I'm sorry, since I was expelled from the family, I swore that I would never ask about anything about the Duanmu family again. Zheng Wuao, you're so heartless, Nan Guangyin said as he battled Eri. Don't think I don't know why you came to Wudang Mountain this time. If you don't take action, I swear, you'll return empty-handed. Nan Guangyin gritted his teeth and said, even if I try my best, I won't let you succeed. If you don't believe me, just try it. Are you threatening me? Zheng Wuao frowned. Yes, you can understand it that way. Nan Guangyin made a condition, then said, Duanmu Wuao, I can promise you that if you help me, I will definitely let you get what you want. Zheng Wuao was silent for a few seconds, thinking for a moment, and finally nodded. Okay, I promise. I hope you won't break your promise, or I won't let you off easy. As he finished speaking, Zheng Wuao took a sip of wine and patted his wine gourd. Buzz! The next moment, Zheng Wuao's aura surged, his realm soaring. In an instant, he had reached the peak of the Foundation establishment stage. The power he emanated was even more terrifying, even comparable to Nan Guangyin's. Afterward, Zheng Wuao soared into the air, joining Nan Guangyin and Eri in their battle. The two of them attacked Eri. With Zheng Wuao's presence, Nan Guangyin's pressure was significantly reduced. Eri was initially outmatched, but she refused to transform into her true form until absolutely necessary. This was because Eri could clearly sense that Zheng Wuao and Nan Guangyin were not simple individuals and posed a threat to her. Even if she reverted to her nine-tailed dark fox form, she might not be able to defeat them. Logically, this shouldn't have happened. Without a core formation, she should have been invincible. At first, Eri thought she had misjudged them, but the sense of danger grew stronger, and Eri became hesitant to act rashly. She planned to hold the two men back, buying time for her master. Of course, if they used their trump cards, Eri would no longer be shy. She would strike back, perhaps gaining a chance. Thus, the three engaged in a mid-air clash, a scene filled with spiritual energy and a magnificent spectacle. Brother, shall we attack? Duan Qingsheng asked from the side of the hall. Duan Qingming hesitated for a moment before making a decision. Now that Mr. Li has taken the fight, there's no need for us to sit back and watch. It's time to repay our master. Okay, Duan Qingsheng nodded, then asked, Brother, in your opinion, which of these two battlefields should we support? Nan Guangyin, Miss Ali, and Duanmu Wuao are all too powerful. I can intervene in their fight, but not you. Duan Qingming continued. It seems Miss Ali can still hold her own and doesn't need our help. Let's help Senior Furing and Senior Kainiansha first and take down those Peak Foundation establishment cultivators. Okay, the eldest brother spoke, and the other four Duan brothers naturally agreed. So, Duan Qingming led his brothers into the melee against Fu Ma, Kainiansha, and the others. Initially, with the addition of Dongfang Yao, Zifan Liang, Zai Hao Yin, and the others, Fu Ma and Kainiansha were already losing the upper hand and were even struggling. However, once the five Duan brothers took action, the situation was instantly reversed. Fu Ma, the Millennium Killer. The five Duan brothers, a team of 7, were overwhelming 30 or 40 Peak Foundation establishment cultivators. Duan Qingming, Meanwhile, while engaging Duan Qingming, Zifan Liang said, I've been watching you for a long time, but the aura you exuded was so powerful I couldn't recognize you. I didn't expect it was really you. It's me, Duan Qingming said flatly. When I saw you a few years ago, you were just beginning to reach the peak of the martial god realm. How come you're so powerful now? Zifan Liang exclaimed in surprise. And your 4 brothers, when did they all reach the peak of the martial god realm? Why didn't you report this to the Zai family? Haha, I'm afraid you don't know yet, but I've already rebelled against the Zai family. Now, our 5 brothers' master is Su Yang, a descendant of the Su family, rebelling against the Zai family. You're dying, Zifan Liang threatened. You don't have to worry about that, Duan Qingming stroked his beard and said calmly, Zifan Liang, I'm sure you can see the current situation, with the 5 of us brothers joining the battle, the few people from the 10 ancient clans will definitely not be able to break into the hall. If the fighting continues, all the people from the ancient clans present will die. Believe me, I have the ability, Duan Qingming said calmly. However, the 5 of us have a complicated relationship with the Zai family. Although your Zai family planted poison in our bodies and even set up a life and death curse, the achievements of the 5 of us brothers today are entirely due to the Zai family's support, Duan Qingming continued. We should not forget our roots. How about this, Zifan Liang, take your people and leave Wudang. The 5 of us brothers will not stop you. Chapter 593, Zai family comes out in full force. Haha, Duan Qingming, you're so arrogant. Today, I'll see how you can stop us. Zifan Liang was furious, his eyes glaring, and the spiritual energy emanating from his body intensified. Zifan Liang, I'll lend you a hand, Duang Fangyao then spoke. Xia Hao Yin and the others nearby also freed their hands and attacked Duan Qingming simultaneously. Duan Qingming, seeing this, remained unfazed. True Qi surged through his body, and he responded methodically. He single-handedly held off Zifan Liang, Duang Fangyao, and other important figures. Duan Qingming had already reached the peak of the land martial god, and with the power of the life and death curse within his body, his strength soared. Therefore, he was confident facing cultivators at the foundation establishment stage. Fighting many alone was no problem. As for his 4 brothers, they were currently only average among the peak martial gods. Therefore, they could only hold back 5 or 6 ordinary peak foundation establishment cultivators. But this gave Fu Ma and Qianian Shan an opportunity. The 2 suddenly charged forward, instantly wiping out several peak foundation establishment cultivators. Bang! 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 Immediately afterwards, Fu Ma and Qianian Sha continued their attacks, defeating them one by one. After about 10 minutes, the original 30 peak foundation establishment cultivators were reduced to only 7 or 8. Duang Fangyao, Zifan Liang, and the others observed this with solemn expressions. Even for the 10 ancient clans, cultivating a peak foundation establishment cultivator was no easy feat. With so many lost, the ancient clans were naturally heartbroken. Xia Hao Yin, in particular, had a sullen expression, gnashing his teeth, his eyes filled with anger. It's okay, it's not a big deal. After we kill the 5 Duan brothers, we'll go after those 2, Zifan Liang said. Get out, Xia Hao Yin said angrily. Among the 30 peak foundation building masters who came to Wudang this time, half of them are from my Xia Hao family. Only you came from your Zai family, so naturally you think it's not a big problem. Why are you yelling? It's just a few deaths. Duangfang Liang was talking, but he saw that the 30 peak foundation building masters had all turned into corpses, so he changed his words. Okay, now they are all dead. It's really a pity. I feel sad for you. Shut up. Xia Hao Yin glared at Duangfang Liang fiercely, then turned and stared at Fu Ma and Qianian Shan with gritted teeth. Alright, brother Xia Hao, I'm sorry for the loss. Everyone, please stop hiding your abilities. Duangfang Yao tried to reassure Xia Hao Yin, then said, from what I've heard, you all have trump cards. It's time to reveal them. You've also realized that if we continue to hide our abilities, we might not be able to defeat Duan Qingming, Duangfang Yao warned. Also, Furen and Qianiansha are coming too. We'll be in danger then. Yes, Xia Hao Yin nodded, muttering to himself, I've brought the Xia Hao family's most precious treasure, the wooden parasol. With it, my strength will at least double in a short period of time, and I should be on par with Senior Nangong. However, the backlash from the wooden parasol is too strong. After using it, I'm afraid I'll need to rest for 6 months, Xia Hao Yin said sternly. But to prevent the transformation of ancient martial arts, I'll do whatever it takes. As his words fell, Zai Hao Yin's mind moved. And a simple oil paper wooden umbrella instantly emerged from his body. Then, Zai Hao Yin raised his arm and grasped the wooden parasol. His aura suddenly surged, rivaling Nanguang Yin's. Dongfang Yao gritted his teeth and unsheathed a long sword. This is one of the 4 famous swords in the Dongfang family's collection, called Walan. Normally, only cultivators at the Jinden stage can wield it at will, Dongfang Yao explained. With my current strength, activating it wouldn't end well, but since brother Zai Hao has fought so hard, I must set an example. Don't hold back. After we eliminate these people, we'll help Senior Nanguang. We must rush into the main hall and stop the ancient martial arts revolution. Holding the Walang sword, Dongfang Yao's aura indeed increased significantly. Seeing this, the others also took out their most precious treasures and forcibly activated them, seeking even greater power. As high-ranking members of the 10 ancient clans, they naturally had access to powerful treasures. After all, the 10 ancient clans had been passed down for thousands of years, and they possessed a wealth of heritage. Everyone, I apologize for coming here in a hurry. My father, Zai Loi, is stingy and didn't give me anything good. I won't be intervening in the upcoming battles. At this moment, Zifan Liang said with a smile. Besides, you all forced your treasures to activate, and you will inevitably enter a period of weakness afterward. It's like drinking at a party. Don't drink and drive, and don't drive after drinking. We always have to leave someone who doesn't drink, Zifan Liang continued. Similarly, you're all weak, so someone has to escort you back to the ancient clan. Well, although this job is hard, I'm kind-hearted and responsible. I'll do the hard work for a while, and then I'll protect you when the time comes, Zifan Liang said with a flattering smile. HMPH, Dongfang Yao glanced at Zifan Liang with dissatisfaction at this, but didn't say anything else. Dongfang Yao, what are you humming about? If you keep this up, I won't send you home. If you let someone like you, a prominent figure in the Dongfang family, get your body picked up and have an illegitimate child, that would be a real problem, Zifan Liang muttered softly. Shut up, Dongfang Yao, wielding the crouching dragon sword, coldly declared. If you keep talking nonsense, I'll cut off your tongue. Well, okay, Dongfang Yao. No, brother Yao, I admit that with the crouching dragon sword's blessing, you're very strong. Please spare me, Zifan Liang cowered, then pointed at Duan Qingming and said, Brother Yao, hurry up and kill this traitor. No need to warn. Dongfang Yao's eyes glared, and he immediately charged at Duan Qingming with the crouching dragon sword in hand. The others did the same. Just now, Duan Qingming had easily taken on these men alone. But now, the situation was different. These men had increased in strength. Even one of them would have been a formidable challenge for Duan Qingming, let alone 8. Puff. In less than a minute, Duan Qingming was sent flying by Zai Haoyin's wooden parasol. Immediately afterwards, Dongfang Yao slashed with his sword, intending to seize the opportunity to kill Duan Qingming. Bang! But then, Fu Ma and Qianian Sha arrived. Among them, Qianian Sha summoned the 4th floor of the Void Tower to block the crouching dragon sword's energy for Duan Qingming. You're quite good. Your own strength is even greater than Qianian Sha's, Fu Ma praised Duan Qingming, then turned and attacked Dongfang Yao. Again, you're complaining about my weakness, Miss Furin. You're such a straight woman. No, you're such a straight old woman. Qianian Sha smiled wryly, then turned to Duan Qingming and said, Haha, Duan Qingming, right? Although Miss Furin's words are embarrassing, I'm convinced. Let's go together, okay? Duan Qingming agreed, and without further ado, he approached Zai Haoyin, seeking revenge for his umbrella. Qianian Sha also summoned the 4th floor of the Void Tower and charged through the 8 men. After all, Dongfang Yao and his 8 men possessed the ancient clan's most precious treasure, greatly increasing their strength. Fu Ma and Qianian Sha, already exhausted and aging, were already beginning to decline. As for Duan Qingming, he initially fought Zai Haoyin alone, but then another man arrived, leaving him stretched to the limit. So, after a few minutes, the 3 were defeated, beaten to the ground by Dongfang Yao and his 8 men. Puff. 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 Fu Ma, 1,000 years of killing, and Duan Qingming all lay on the ground, spitting blood and breathing weakly. Kill them, or we'll have more trouble, Dongfang Yao declared coldly. The 8 men, each holding their own treasure, slowly approached Fu Ma and the other 2. In mid-air, Ali's battle with Nangguang Yinjin Wu Iya was in full swing, and she had to be wary of either of them suddenly using their trump cards. For the sake of the overall situation, Ali still couldn't regain her true form, so she couldn't free herself. As for the others present, they dared not move forward, unable to stop Dongfang Yao and his 8 men. Stop, but just as Dongfang Yao and his 8 men were about to strike, Zai Loi, leading a host of Zai clan masters, arrived on the scene. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 594, Following the Order of the Ancestor, Protect Su Yang. The Zai family has arrived. Ever since receiving the order from Grand Ancestor Zai Yao, Zai Loi has been gathering the Zai family's experts. All cultivators who have reached the foundation establishment stage have been summoned, practically out in force. Father, Zifan Liang, who had been observing the battle from the sidelines, greeted Zai Loi and said respectfully, "Why are you here?" "And with so many, this is Grand Ancestor's order," Zai Loi replied calmly, then inquired, "Grand Ancestor, you didn't attack the Su family's descendants, did you?" "No," Zifan Liang shook his head, then explained, "But father, I won't bring shame to the Zai family, I'm just conserving my strength. I'll definitely intervene later to stop the ancient martial arts reform," Zifan Liang added. Hearing his son didn't attack, Zai Loi breathed a sigh of relief. He had clearly sensed Grand Ancestor's attitude toward Su Yang. If his son had harmed Su Yang, he would have suffered disastrous consequences. Fortunately, his son was wise enough to conserve his strength. "Father," at this time, Zifan Liang's eyes fell on Duan Qingming, and he said in a cold voice, "Duan Qingming from Beishan, he brought 4 brothers to betray our Zai family and defected to Su Yang, a descendant of the Su family. Such behavior shows that they don't take our Zai family seriously at all. The 5 of them must be cut into pieces to serve as a warning to others." Zifan Liang's eyes flashed with murderous intent, and then he said, "Father, you just asked Dongfang Yao and others to stop. Have you known about this a long time ago and wanted to execute them yourself?" "Haha, Senior Zai Loi." Before Zai Loi could respond, Dongfang Yao, who was not far away, smiled politely. "It is indeed infuriating that a traitor has appeared in the Zai family, but there is no need for you to bring so many people here to clean up the mess. You and Senior Nangguang Yin are masters of the same era. You alone are fully capable of wiping out the 5 brothers of the Duan family," Dongfang Yao continued. "However, since Senior Zai Loi is here, we must give this face. The lives of the 5 brothers of the Duan family are in your hands." Zai Loi's position in the Zai family was second only to the ancestor, and this was well known. Therefore, Dongfang Yao's attitude towards Zai Loi was extremely polite, just as it had been towards Nangguang Yin. "Dongfang Yao, you don't understand this, do you? Killing a chicken to scare the monkeys is essential to demonstrate the family's strength," Zifan Liang chuckled smugly, then pointed at the nearly 100 Zai family masters behind Zai Loi and said, "See? My Zai family has over 100 foundation establishment masters. Among them, there are over 30 at the peak of the foundation establishment stage, over 40 at the middle stage, and not many at the early stages. Of course, this only counts those who can be deployed at any time. Other Zai family masters scattered across the country don't count." Zifan Liang smiled. "Dongfang Yao, does your Dongfang family have that kind of strength?" "Of course not," Dongfang Yao said casually, but he didn't think so in his heart. Zai Loi was nearby, so he couldn't argue with Zifan Liang, lest he anger Zai Loi. After all, he didn't have a Dongfang family elder to protect him. Zifan Liang chuckled softly, then volunteered, "Father, now that Duan Qingming has lost the strength to fight back, I won't bother you with a fight, lest you dirty your hands. Let me handle it." With that, Zifan Liang strode forward, spiritual energy surging in his palms, ready to strike and obliterate Duan Qingming. "Duan Qingming, do you ever regret betraying the Zai family?" Zifan Liang asked, approaching. "HMPH. The 5 of us brothers have devoted ourselves to the Zai family for years, repaying them with all our sincerity, yet they use plots and life-death curses to constrain us." Duan Qingming sneered. "That's fine, understandable, but every time we gather supplies in Beishan, you take them all. You don't even consider us 5 brothers your own. Why would you regret betraying the Zai family? You're still stubborn even when death is imminent." Don't blame me. Zifen Liang's face darkened, and he was about to strike. Bang! But then, Xiloi, who had been silent until then, raised his sleeve and struck Zifen Liang away. Damn it, which son of a bitch dared to hit me? Don't you know my Xi family has been completely evacuated? Zifen Liang was furious, scrambling to his feet and unleashing a barrage of curses, his demeanor extremely arrogant. But when he turned around and saw his attacker, he froze, his face bewildered. Father, you, who told you to attack Duan Qingming? Xiloi said gravely. Zifen Liang asked in confusion. He betrayed the Xi family. Aren't you killing him and keeping him alive for the new year? Aren't you here to deal with him? No. Xiloi shook his head and said seriously, I'm here to protect the descendants of the Su family. The 5 Duan brothers have joined Su Yang, so they're Su Yang's people and therefore under my protection. Xiloi gritted his teeth and said, how dare you touch him, and call me a son of a bitch and a disobedient son? If I'm a son of a bitch, then what are you? Get back here, you're disgracing yourself. Zifen Liang was stunned and quickly retreated, standing obediently behind Xiloi. I'll deal with you when I get home. Xiloi gave his son a stern look, then turned his gaze to Dongfang Yao and the others, and said lightly, I am following the orders of the ancestor to protect Su Yang, the descendant of the Su family, and those related to Su Yang. Dongfang Yao, Xi Hao Yin, you must leave immediately, otherwise don't blame me for being rude. As soon as these words came out, the faces of Dongfang Yao and the other 8 people instantly became ugly. Senior Xiloi, are you sure? Dongfang Yao met Xiloi's gaze and frowned. Now that Su Yang has won the 100-sex martial arts competition, he is starting the ancient martial arts reform in the main hall. You want to protect him? Aren't you afraid that the ancient martial arts reform will be successfully launched and will have an impact on our 10 ancient clans? I'm not wrong, Xiloi said lightly. I'm following the orders of the ancestor. As for the rest, it's not within my consideration. Dongfang Yao, you'd better disappear from my sight immediately and completely stop the idea of harming the descendants of the Su family. At this point, Xiloi's face turned cold, and he said in a deep voice, otherwise, don't leave. Dongfang Yao and the other 8 people had complicated expressions when they heard this, and they remained silent. Xiloi, at this time, Nanguang Yin, who was fighting with Ali, said while fighting, you have to think clearly. Once you help Su Yang, you will be a sinner of the ancient clan, and the Xi family will be isolated by all the ancient clans. Do you want the Xi family to fall into an irretrievable situation? Nanguang Yin, don't scare me. Do you think I was scared? Xiloi showed a cold smile, and then said, I only know that with the protection of the ancestor, no one in the world dares to harm the Xi family. The ancestor asked me to protect Su Yang, so I must do this. Only when the ancestor is happy, can my Xi family prosper forever and last forever. Chapter 595, Restoring the Body, Nine-Tailed Dark Fox. HMPH, Nanguang Yin said in a deep voice, your Xi family's ancestor is indeed strong, but she has lived for endless years after all. Maybe one day her life will come to an end. As for you, who knows, you are dreaming if you continue to be eternally green, haha. Xiloi, if you become a sinner of the ancient clan today, I guarantee that after your ancestor passes away, I will unite with other ancient clans to make the Xi family disappear from the world, Nanguang Yin threatened. What a joke, Xiloi sneered. Nanguang Yin, if my ancestor is really gone, even if I leave today, the ancient clan will not let the Xi family go, right? In this world where the strong prey on the weak, without the strongest person in charge, can my Xi family still be safe? Xiloi continued. Also, Nanguang Yin, don't just curse my ancestor, take good care of that old guy in your Nanguang family. If one day he dies, I'm afraid it will be your Nanguang family that will be divided up by the major ancient clans. You, looking for death? Nanguang Yin was furious and simply stopped persuading Xiloi. Instead, he looked at Dongfang Yao and said, Dongfang Yao, don't be afraid. The 8 of you all have treasures on you. Send 2 of you to deal with the foundation building master of the Xi family, and the other 6 will join forces to deal with Xiloi. Although this old thing is strong, even if the 6 of you activate your treasures, you may not be able to defeat him. However, if you hold him off for 10 minutes, it won't be a problem. Next, I'm going to start exerting my strength. We need to quickly deal with this area. Then, we can storm the main hall, wipe out the descendants of the Su family, and stop the ancient martial arts revolution, Nanguang Yin ordered. Okay, Dongfang Yao pondered for a moment, then exchanged glances with the others nearby before finally nodding in agreement. Remember, don't kill the Zai family members. The Zai family ancestor is still alive, and she's no simple matter. If we anger her, we'll all be doomed, Nanguang Yin warned. Understood, Dongfang Yao nodded gently, then telepathically transmitted, Zai Hao Yin, Du Yu, you two go deal with the Zai family's foundation establishment experts. I'll lead the others to hold Zai Loi and his son back. Alright. Upon hearing this, Zai Hao Yin and Du Gu, holding the precious treasures, charged into the crowd. The Zai family members were of varying strengths, and faced with Zai Hao Yin and Du Gu activating their treasures, they were no match. However, the Zai family numbered over 100, so Zai Hao Yin and Du Gu alone couldn't possibly win. A stalemate ensued. Senior Zai Loi, since you're so stubborn, I'll offend you. On this side, Dongfang Yao led the others into ruthless confrontation with Zai Loi. HMPH, Zai Loi snorted coldly, then immediately attacked, his spiritual energy surging. Nearby, Zifen Liang, seeing his father under siege, no longer concealed his weakness, unearthed his own treasure, and joined the fray. With a treasure in hand, his strength rivaled Dongfang Yao's, which did alleviate some of the pressure on Zai Loi. However, with 5 more men on the other side, all armed with ancient clan treasures, Zai Loi couldn't achieve a quick victory, so he could only pressure them and become entangled. Bang, bang, bang. Thus, the fighting on the 3 battlefields was intense, with a sound of air crackling constantly echoing from the scene. Duan Mu Wuao, Su Yang has been in the hall for 20 minutes. I'm sure he'll soon begin his ancient martial arts transformation. I must stop him, or all our efforts will be wasted. Nanguang Yin looked at Zhen Wuao and whispered, I know you've hidden your strength. You can quickly reach the false core realm. While not a true core formation realm, you possess some of its power. If you use it, you can handle this alley all on your own. You might even have the chance to annihilate her. She's yours. With that, regardless of Zhen Wuao's approval, Nanguang Yin flashed and quickly withdrew from the battle. Then, with his eyes narrowed, Nanguang Yin strode toward the hall, a sneer curling across his lips. Seeing this, Ali's eyes instantly sharpened, and she tried to stop Nanguang Yin. Miss Ali, stay here. Don't resist. I will protect Su Yang. At that moment, Zhen Wuao leaped forward, blocking Ali's path. Seeing this, Ali's rage was uncontrollable. She had endured it for so long, but now, she couldn't hold it back any longer. Buzz! In a flash of light, Eri instantly transformed into a snow-white fox with 9 tails and a ferocious expression. Get out of here! Restored to her original form, Eri roared angrily, a terrifying aura instantly engulfing the entire crowd. Wow! At that moment, everyone was stunned, and an uproar erupted. Fox! Fox? I must be seeing right. Miss Eri is actually a fox spirit. What fox spirit? This is called a fox demon. Since the great change in the heavens thousands of years ago, the demon race has disappeared from Earth, but demons do exist. Some sects use them to guard their mountain gates. That's called a demon beast, right? They can't transform into human form and have little power. But among the ancient tribes, there seem to be powerful demon beasts, comparable to those at the foundation building stage, but they can't transform into human form either. 9 tails. What kind of fox demon is this? For a moment, the crowd was filled with discussion, their eyes filled with horror. Even Zai Haoji and Wen Renai, the young men of the ancient tribes, were stunned. They had demonic beasts in their home, but they were merely pets. There was a difference between demonic beasts and demon clans. Only those capable of transforming into human form were considered demon clans. Those without intelligence, or with low intelligence, were called demon beasts. At this moment, Zhen Wuao was forced back several steps by the might of Eri. After stabilizing himself, he said with surprise, I never expected to see a real demon in Wudang Mountain today. This trip was well worth it, but, Miss Eri, even if you return to your true form, I'm still confident I can stop you. With these words, Zhen Wuao's mind shifted, and the wine gourd hanging from his waist instantly sank into his body. Then, Zhen Wuao's aura suddenly surged, and a purple light permeated his entire body. A hint of aura not associated with Foundation establishment appeared. Alice, the fake Dan realm isn't the true Jin Dan after all, it's just a facade. After all this, Zhen Wuao sighed and said, this is my second time entering this state. After today, I'm afraid I'll be stuck in it for a long time. Miss Ali, I apologize for the offense. With that, Zhen Wuao's eyes darkened, and he instantly became serious. He leaped towards Ali. "Stop me from saving my master, and I'll kill you." Ali, now restored to her true form, revealed her ferocious nature, charging at Jun Wu Yao with a ferocious look. At the Foundation establishment stage, Ali was invincible. But Jun Wu Yao, currently above Foundation establishment and below Jindan, presented a challenge to Ali. She had long suspected Jun Wu Yao and Nangguang Yin had hidden cards, but she hadn't expected them to be so powerful. However, Jun Wu Yao was only at the fake Dan stage, not at true Jindan, so he couldn't defeat Ali. Thus, the two engaged in a stalemate, a battle that was difficult to resolve. Just then, Nangguang Yin arrived outside the hall, attempting to force his way in. But at the crucial moment, Wang Fuge stepped forward, accompanied by Zhang Megu and Shi Jiushan. Wang Fuge, holding a suona, looked determined, vowing to protect Su Yang until his death. Zhang Megu, carrying a large animal skin drum, remained steadfast, determined to repay Su Yang's kindness. As for Shi Jiushan, he had already activated the Taishan divine art, becoming a golden giant. Chapter 596 Destroying the Hall. U3, Nangguang Yin saw Wang Fuge, Zhang Megu, and Shi Jiushan marching on without stopping and said in a deep voice, "Get out of here right now. I don't want to kill anyone today." Originally, Nangguang Yin had planned to slaughter everyone in Wudang Mountain, but after Ziloi and his men showed up, he completely changed his mind. Since he couldn't completely eradicate them, there was no need to be ruthless, lest he face future retaliation. After all, he was the one who was in charge of all this. If Su Wuji was truly still alive and came seeking revenge, the Nangguang family would be doomed. Therefore, Nangguang Yin didn't dare to kill them, but only warned Wang Fuge and the other two. "Go to hell, old man. I'm young Master Su's best friend. If you want to come in and cause trouble for him, you're out of luck." Wang Fuge gritted his teeth. Zhang Megu stared at Nangguang Yin and said stubbornly, "I know you are strong, but young Master Su avenged my sister and did me a favor. As long as I am alive, I will never allow you to get close to him." Nangguang Yin, the reform of ancient martial arts is an inevitable trend. Don't be stubborn. Take your people away quickly, so as not to get deeper and deeper into trouble, said the golden giant Shi Jiushan. "Oh, one is Su Yang's friend, and the other has received Su Yang's favor, haha, interesting." Nangguang Yin stopped, looked up at Shi Jiushan, and said, "Taishan magical art, you are the successor of the Fengshan land. Who is your relationship with Shi Haohan, the master of Taishan?" "He is my grandfather." Shi Jiushan looked down at him and said lightly, "Nangguang Yin, I hope you don't make the same mistake again. It's not too late to stop now." "What a joke. When did a young boy teach me how to do things?" Nangguang Yin couldn't listen at all, and said in a cold voice, "I have heard a little about Su Yang's origins. He is Su Shenping of the Su family and was born to Shi Haohan's daughter Shi Yuan. So, you and Su Yang are cousins. No wonder you stood up at the critical moment. To be honest, of the entire ancient family, what I fear most at the moment is the Taishan magical art." Nangguang Yin looked at Shi Jiushan, his body aglow with gold, and chuckled softly, "It's a shame, you're too weak. Even unleashing the Taishan divine art won't help. I'll give you one more chance. Get out of here, or I'll cripple you." HMPH, old man, who are you trying to scare? Wang Fuge, fearless as a newborn calf, wielded the Wangquan Suona and charged directly at Nangguang Yin. Simultaneously, Zhang Megu, without hesitation, his eyes glaring, struck the animal skin drum with the fifth drumbeat. "Destroy!" Shi Jiushan also launched his attack, the earth trembling and the air crackling. "Haha, a mere trifle." Nangguang Yin smiled disdainfully and raised his hand slightly. In an instant, Wang Fuge was sent flying backwards, spewing blood, and lying on the ground, nearly dead. "Brother Fuge," Zhang Megu cried out anxiously, swallowing the blood and forcefully pounding the animal skin drum. Just now, he had unleashed several obliteration attacks in quick succession, damaging his own tendons and veins. If he unleashed another obliteration attack, he would likely be dead in no time, even without the help of others. But Zhang Megu couldn't care less now. Bang! 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 The mighty drumbeats were deafening, and the terrifying sonic waves blasted towards Nangguang Yin. "Interesting, but you're too weak. Otherwise you could have hurt me." Nangguang Yin praised him at first, then shook his head. He, too, raised his hand and swatted Zhang Megu away. Puff! The next moment, Zhang Megu fell heavily to the ground, the animal skin drum shattering into pieces. "You lie down too," After dispatching Wang Fuge and Zhang Magu, Nanguang Yin glanced at Shi Jiushan, casually waved his sleeve, and Shi Jiushan, transformed into golden giant, collapsed to the ground with a thunderous thud. His massive form stirred up a cloud of dust. After everything calmed down, the power of the Taishan divine art had faded. Shi Jiushan lay beside Wang Fuge, his face etched with blood, his face agonized. All three men had lost their fighting ability, their faces pale, and they struggled to even stand. Zhang Magu, in particular, had already been fatally injured by forcing the beast hide drum. Add to that the injuries sustained by Nanguang Yin, and there was no chance of survival. Ancient martial arts transformation? Haha. No one can initiate it. Only we, the 10 ancient clans, can dominate the world. Nanguang Yin, without even glancing at Wang Fuge and the other two, fixed his gaze directly above him and suddenly raised his hand. Boom. In an instant, a terrifying surge of force erupted, severing the 8 pillars holding the main hall together. Immediately afterwards, the Xianji Gate main hall collapsed, reduced to ruins in mere seconds. But the next moment, a strange scene unfolded. While the main hall was gone, 4 golden light screens appeared before them, occupying a vast, square area, perfectly framing the main hall's east, west, south, and north. These 4 light curtains encircled the hall, their surfaces shrouded in mysterious patterns. A grand formation. It was this formation, based on the hall, that could bring about drastic changes in the ancient martial arts world. The hall itself could collapse, but this grand formation was beyond the reach of Nanguang Yin. Meanwhile, in the center of the light curtain sat a smaller square curtain. Su Yang sat on the circular platform within it, eyes slightly closed, absorbed in studying the formation. What was happening outside had no effect on him. Wang Zhongyan, Shi Haohan, Zhang Xianli, Nun Sishan, Su Yufeng, Abbot Yuantong, Jin Shangsu, Du Kun, and other leaders of the ancient martial arts world stood before Su Yang. Each of them wore a solemn expression, their weapons drawn, their intention clearly to protect him. This is a formation, such a powerful formation, I've never seen one in my lifetime. Nanguang Yin's gaze was instantly drawn to the light curtain. Shocked, he muttered to himself, if this formation is activated, it's hard to imagine the drastic changes that will occur in the world. Ancient martial arts transformation, ancient martial arts transformation. Humph, with me here today, the ancient martial arts world won't soar. Nanguang Yin snorted coldly, then suddenly attacked the light curtain, attempting to destroy the formation. Bang! But the next moment, the formation rebounded its force, catching Nanguang Yin off guard. I'm so confused. How could I possibly destroy a formation like this? Nanguang Yin steadied himself and looked at Su Yang. His eyes glared. It seems that if we want to stop the ancient martial arts transformation, we have to start with Su Yang. He's sitting right at the center of the formation. Disrupt him, and all his efforts will be wasted. With this thought in mind, Nanguang Yin didn't hesitate, leaping towards Su Yang. Stop him. Don't let him get close to me. Give me 7 more minutes. Su Yang, sitting cross-legged, sensed Nanguang Yin's movements and suddenly spoke. Okay. Wang Zhongyan and the others nodded solemnly upon hearing this, using offense as defense and charging towards Nanguang Yin in unison. Chapter 597 Shi Haohan takes action. Looking for death, Nanguang Yin's face darkened, and he launched a powerful palm strike, sending Wang Zhongyan and Nun Sishan flying in an instant. As for Jin Shangsu, she had already leveraged the power of the 9 peaks, briefly reaching the realm of the land martial god. Even so, she was no match for Nanguang Yin and was sent flying, spitting blood. Bang! 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 Seeing this, Zhang Xianli lifted up a large animal skin drum and repeatedly struck it, releasing terrifying sonic waves. Unfortunately, he still couldn't harm Nanguang Yin, instead leaving them nearly dead. Nun Sishan of Mount Emei and Su Yufeng of Mount Fujian, one at the peak of the land martial god realm, the other at the late stage. Such strength was practically the pinnacle of the ancient martial arts world, but facing Nanguang Yin, they were nothing, and both collapsed to the ground. You can't stop me. For the past 100 years, the 10 ancient clans have been under house arrest and are not allowed to go out, reducing their exploitation of the major famous mountains. You don't have to pay tribute to us for various cultivation resources. Nanguang Yin looked at the people he knocked to the ground and said proudly, therefore, the entire ancient martial arts world has continuously produced land martial gods, but so what? The gap between the ancient martial arts world and the ancient clans is simply not something that can be made up in these 100 years. Now that the ban on the ancient clans has been lifted, you just need to continue to submit to the ancient clan. Why bother to start any ancient martial arts reform? Nanguang Yin sneered. Want to be on an equal footing with the 10 ancient clans? Haha, you ancient warriors are not worthy of it. The ancient martial arts system will always be just a low-level system, not worthy of being in the upper class. Amitabha. At this time, Abbot Yuantong stood up, clasped his hands together and said, Donor Nanguang, this is wrong. There has never been a distinction between high and low cultivation systems, and the cultivation system is not superior to others. Abbot Yuantong was at the peak of the land martial god realm. He knew that even if they joined forces, they were no match for Nanguang Yin. So, he hadn't attacked just now, merely standing aside, hoping to stall for time. Su Yang had said it would only take 7 minutes, and 2 had already passed. If he could hold Nanguang Yin back, the ancient martial arts revolution could begin. Then, he would surely reach a new realm. What would Nanguang Yin even matter to him? Haha, you idiot baldhead, you're quite clever, Nanguang Yin said with a playful smile. But I'm not stupid. I don't want to play wit with you. With that, Nanguang Yin attacked. Abbot Yuantong hesitated for a moment, but ultimately deployed his most powerful weapon. Buzz! The next moment, Abbot Yuantong was bathed in Buddha's light. He clasped his hands together, his appearance majestic and radiant, akin to saving all living beings. Then, Abbot Yuantong charged forward, confronting Nanguang Yin head-on. Bang! 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 For a moment, debris flew everywhere, and the battle was intense. At this moment, because the main hall had been destroyed, the onlookers outside could clearly see the scene inside. Amitabha, senior brother, you have reached the highest level of enlightenment, igniting your own dharma, sacrificing your life for justice. I admire you. At this moment, the Buddhist disciple Wuji clasped his hands together, his expression complicated. Wuji, what do you mean? Will Abbot Yuantong pass away? Zhao's hero beside him asked sorrowfully. No, Wuji shook his head, then said, if senior brother survives, I'm afraid he will never be able to cultivate again in this lifetime. His original Buddha power will be completely wiped out, and he will become an ordinary person. Abbot Yuantong, you are admirable, Wang Yi, standing beside him, said seriously. He had originally left, but with such a major event happening in Wudang, Wang Yi returned. However, his strength was too limited to intervene, so he could only watch from the crowd. Seeing Abbot Yuantong ignite his dharma and reach the highest level of enlightenment, Wang Yi was filled with admiration. The others at the scene naturally felt the same way, though they were also surprised by Wuji's seniority. Abbot Yuantong held a high position on Mount Bodhi, and surprisingly, he and Wuji were fellow disciples. Meanwhile, the battle between Ari and Zheng Wuiao continued, a stalemate between the two sides. Elsewhere, Zaloi and the Zai family were engaged in a duel with Dongfang Yao and his 8 companions, with neither side winning or losing. If the battle continued, the Zai family would surely prevail, but this battle was timed. Within 4 or 5 minutes, Zaloi would be unable to escape, and naturally, would be unable to assist Su Yang. Then, just a minute later, Abbot Yuantong, whose blazing dharma had reached its peak of enlightenment, was defeated, sent flying by a single palm strike from Nanguang Yin. You've reached the Jinden realm. Are you crazy? Aren't you afraid of the consequences? Abbot Yuantong said weakly, lying on the ground, not bothering to wipe the blood from his mouth. It should have been. Although Abbot Yuantong, after his peak enlightenment, was no match for Nanguang Yin, he wouldn't have been defeated so quickly. He could have held out for at least 10 more minutes. Unexpectedly, Nanguang Yin's strength suddenly surged, even emitting a hint of an aura beyond the foundation establishment stage. With a single palm strike, he sent Abbot Yuantong repelling. Haha, this is only the fake Dan realm, not the true core formation realm, Nanguang Yin chuckled. Fake Dan. Like Zheng Wuiao, Nanguang Yin had concealed his strength, and his true realm was the fake Dan realm. Fake Dan? There's a difference between true and false core formation. Abbot Yuantong, gravely injured, still managed to stall for time. Of course, Nanguang Yin said quite proudly, the reason why this realm is called fake Dan is that there is no golden Dan in the body, but the realm of Jindan has been comprehended, and it has a trace of Jindan power. In other words, I have already stepped into the Jindan realm long before, and personally felt the ominousness. Speaking of the ominous, Nan Guangyin was very taboo, and said fearfully, "That is really terrible, painful, and it makes people unable to raise the slightest bit of resistance." Facing ominous, cultivators are like facing a towering mountain. They dare not jump at all and can only surrender. Nan Guangyin continued, "However, the ancestor of my family broke the golden dan for me and nourished my body with a large amount of resources. Now that the golden dan is broken, I am no longer a cultivator in the Jindan realm, so I don't have to be troubled by ominous things anymore." Nan Guangyin continued, "Stepping into the golden den and destroying oneself, falling back into the peak of the foundation building, is the fake dan realm. The strength of cultivators in this realm is naturally not comparable to that of ordinary peak foundation building. If they can't form a Jindan, the fake dan will be invincible." Nan Guangyin sneered, "Haha, okay, I've said enough. We still have 3 minutes, right? There's still time. Descendant of the Su family, I'm giving you a chance to choose. Do you want to step down from the platform on your own, or be knocked down by me?" Nan Guangyin said coldly. Su Yang sat cross-legged, his eyes closed, seemingly oblivious to Nan Guangyin's words. "HMPH, you're insolent." Nan Guangyin's face darkened, and he raised his hand to strike Su Yang. "Have you forgotten that I haven't fallen yet?" But at that moment, an old, deep voice rang out, and then a huge golden figure appeared, blocking Su Yang's way. His golden beard resembled the beard of a celestial being. Chapter 598 Come Again. Shi Haohan. It was Shi Haohan. At this moment, Shi Haohan had activated the Taishan divine art, his body suddenly expanding several times, aglow with golden light, like a small golden mountain. His understanding of the Taishan divine art was clearly superior to Shi Jiushan's, so after unleashing the Taishan divine art, his body became twice as large as Shi Jiushan's. Now, Shi Haohan's aura was like the sea, his power radiating a heart-pounding aura. The sound of his breath moving the air was clear to everyone's ears. The airflow generated was like a breeze, and the dust on the ground flew up as he opened and closed. The sudden appearance of such a giant was extremely shocking, and everyone was stunned. "This is the Lord of Mount Tai, the divine art of Mount Tai. Shi Haohan, the Lord of Mount Tai, has used the divine art of Mount Tai. Is this the ultimate divine art of Mount Tai? It's so powerful, far surpassing Shi Jiushan. The divine art of Mount Tai is only 100. I heard that Shi Haohan has used it 99 times. If he uses it again, he will explode and die when the effect of the divine art of Mount Tai ends. Is it true? It can't be a rumor. How could Shi Haohan choose to sacrifice his life for the reform of ancient martial arts? I don't believe it." "Shut up. Don't measure everyone with your selfish and narrow-minded thinking. This news is true. Many people in the ancient martial arts world know that Mount Tai has shown weakness in recent years. It is obviously related to Shi Haohan. He can't use the divine art of Mount Tai normally. That's why the Fengshan land has turned a blind eye to the provocations of the Zeman family of Kunlun Mountain many times. Yes, the Zeman family has been expanding its influence everywhere in recent years, challenging the dominant position of the Fengshan land in the ancient martial arts world. The fact that Shi Haohan didn't step forward to stop them is enough to prove that the news is true. So, Shi Haohan is truly great. He's using his last chance to unleash the Taishan divine art for the sake of revolutionizing ancient martial arts." For a moment, the crowd at the scene buzzed with discussion. Upon learning the circumstances, everyone expressed admiration for Shi Haohan. "Grandpa," outside the hall, Shi Jiushan trembled as he stood up, wiping the blood from the corner of his mouth. Seeing his grandfather use the Taishan divine art, he was overcome with grief. He knew his grandfather was risking his life to stop Nan Guangyin. Heartbroken, Shi Jiushan gritted his teeth, hating himself for being so weak, hating himself for being powerless. At this moment, Nan Guangyin soared into the air, hovering in midair, looking straight at Shi Haohan, and said lightly, "Shi Haohan, I know something about you. I have said before that in the ancient martial arts world, you are the most likely to pose a threat to me. However, I know that you only have one chance to display the Taishan magic skill. I thought you would back down, but I didn't expect that you really used the Taishan magic skill." Nan Guangyin looked at Shi Haohan and suddenly asked curiously, "After today, you will die no matter what. Even if the ancient martial arts transformation is successful, it has nothing to do with you. You used your life in exchange for the ancient martial arts transformation, but you yourself cannot enjoy the benefits of the ancient martial arts transformation." Nan Guangyin asked. "Don't you regret it?" "Haha, Shi Haohan was like a small mountain, his voice was like a huge bell, with its own reverberation, and he laughed heartily. Since I have taken this step, I have no regrets, Nanguang Yin. Today, I will use my body to build a copper wall and iron wall. Don't even think about taking a step forward. Good, very good. Seeing this, Nanguang Yin couldn't help but praise him. I didn't expect there was someone like you in the ancient martial arts world. You're willing to die bravely, sacrificing your life for justice. You're willing to give up your own life for the sake of the entire ancient martial arts world. I have to say, your behavior is admirable. Haha, I'm afraid you misunderstood. The affairs of the ancient martial arts world are related to me, but it doesn't require me to make such a great sacrifice. I don't force change. Shi Haohan chuckled softly. So, I'm not as great as you say. I didn't make this decision for the sake of all the ancient martial artists in the world. Oh, Nanguang Yin was immediately confused and frowned. Then what are you doing this for? Is there something more important than your own life? Yes, Shi Haohan lowered his head and glanced at Su Yang within the light curtain. A rare touch of kindness appeared on his face, and he murmured to himself, he is my grandson after all. Until now, Shi Haohan had never been kind to Su Yang, and could even be said to dislike him. Even after Su Yang won first place in the 100-sex martial arts competition, becoming the leader of the Ancient Martial Arts Alliance, fulfilling his destiny and ushering in a revolution in the ancient martial arts world, Shi Haohan never smiled at Su Yang. He hated the Su family, Su Shenbing, and Su Yang. If it weren't for Su Shenbing, Shi Haohan's daughter wouldn't have suddenly become obscure. Shi Yuan's talent and strength were top tier, even the pinnacle, in the ancient martial arts world. For hundreds and thousands of years, no one had ever matched Shi Yuan's talent. Shi Haohan had long since trained Shi Yuan as his successor, neglecting even his two sons. But who would have thought that after the 100-sex martial arts competition, his prodigy daughter would have disappeared without a trace? Upon learning of his daughter's whereabouts, Shi Haohan discovered that his incredibly talented daughter had become ordinary and had given birth to a pair of children for Su Shenbing. This infuriated Shi Haohan, who wished to slaughter the entire Su family and devour Su Shenbing alive. Of course, this was just a thought, he would never actually do it. In short, Shi Haohan naturally harbored no fondness for Su Yang. But, as he'd said, Su Yang was, after all, his grandson, his own grandson. No matter how heartless Shi Haohan was, he couldn't stand by and watch Su Yang suffer. So, at a crucial moment, he unleashed his Taishan divine art to defend Su Yang. Hey, Su Yang, you and I are blood relatives after all, yet I've done nothing for you. Today, let me atone for all the years I've owed you. Shi Haohan sighed, his resolve firm, and he fixed Nanguang Yin with a resolute gaze. 2 minutes left. Shi Haohan, I have to tell you a harsh truth. Nanguang Yin met Shi Haohan's gaze and sneered, even if you unleash your Taishan divine art, you can't be my match. With that, Nanguang Yin launched the first attack, his palms radiating spiritual energy. A terrifying ball of spiritual light struck Shi Haohan. The fake pale realm. Entering this realm, Nanguang Yin possessed exceptional strength and overflowing self-confidence. Shi Haohan felt the opponent's attack coming, so he took a step forward and blocked it with his body. Bang! Shi Haohan in the state of Taishan magical skill had amazing defense, was invulnerable to all kinds of attacks, and had infinite strength, which could move mountains and fill the sea. This was also the characteristic of Taishan magical skill. But this time, facing Nanguang Yin's spiritual attack, Shi Haohan's defense was broken. Puff! Shi Haohan took a half step back, and was knocked to his knees by the blow, spurting out a pool of blood, with a painful expression on his golden face. However, the next moment, he stood up again, looking at Nanguang Yin with a resolute gaze, without any fear in his eyes. Come again. Chapter 599, The Grand Formation begins, dominating Wudang. Looking for death, Nanguang Yin raged, attacking repeatedly. Bang! 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 Again and again. Shi Haohan blocked each attack with his body. In just 1 minute, Shi Haohan fell more than a dozen times. Each time he fell, he quickly stood up. The ground was covered in crimson blood, staining the surroundings crimson. Buzz! At this moment, the golden formation centered on Su Yang suddenly released a brilliant light. The veins on the light curtain began to swirl rapidly, as if in turmoil. The formation was about to activate. At that time, the ancient martial arts transformation would be immediately successful, and a new realm would emerge after the ancient martial arts system reached the level of the land martial god. Nanguang, seeing this, was instantly distraught and wanted to stop Su Yang. But Shi Haohan once again stood up, blocking his way. Shi Haohan, go to hell. Nanguang, completely enraged, used all his strength to attack Shi Haohan like a madman. Puff. Shi Haohan could not dodge, nor could he hide, because behind him was Su Yang, so he took Nanguang attack firmly. Afterwards, under the impact of the huge force, he knelt on his knees, blood oozing from the corners of his mouth, pain appeared on his old face, his eyes were a little blurred, and his breath was even weaker. But the next moment, Shi Haohan still relied on his own perseverance to force himself to stand up, like an immortal god of war. Nanguang was about to collapse, and he was so anxious that he kept attacking Shi Haohan. The majestic spiritual energy, like a violent storm, fell on Shi Haohan's mountain-like body. Shi Haohan was in great pain, but he did not retreat a single step, and protected Su Yang tightly behind him. Such persistence, God knows the pain he's endured. Senior Shi Haohan, you're truly admirable, he has something to protect. Master Shishin, keep going, I believe you can do it, almost there. Less than a minute left, Su Yang will succeed. The onlookers at the scene were all moved by Shi Haohan's persistence and nervously observed the developments ahead. Meanwhile, the battle between Junwu Ayao and Ali continued in full swing. Previously, Ali had tried her best to shake off Junwu Ayao and protect Su Yang, but Junwu Ayao refused to give her the chance. Now, seeing Nanguang prolonged attack unsuccessful and the formation about to activate, Junwu Ayao felt anxious and wanted to support Nanguang. But Ali was no spectator and suddenly accelerated her attack, leaving Junwu Ayao unable to provide support. Elsewhere, the battle between the Zai family and Dongfang Yao and his men was nearing its end. This time, the Zai family brought nearly 100 Foundation establishment masters. While individually inferior to Zai Haoyin and his men, they were superior in numbers. Zai Haoyin and his men were losing ground, and with the exception of Zai Haoyin, all were defeated. Even Zai Haoyin himself was seriously injured. Finally, he glanced around and fled. He held up a wooden parasol and, accompanied by his descendant, Zai Haoji, he leaped out of Wuding Mountain. Damn it, Dongfang Yao, seeing this, cursed in anger. Unfortunately, Zai Haoyin and his men had already fled. Furthermore, the men he led were also defeated by Zai Loi and his son, with only Dongfang Yao remaining standing. Bang! Just as Dongfang Yao was cursing Zai Haoyin, Zai Loi seized the opportunity and struck him in the chest. Unsurprisingly, Dongfang Yao fell, and the crouching dragon sword flew out of his hand. Zai Loi leaped into the air, snatched the crouching dragon sword, and pursued him, knocking him to the ground. For Dongfang Yulian's sake, I'll spare your life. Zai Loi didn't kill them all, otherwise he would have been locked in a life and death struggle with the other 9 ancient clans. After dealing with Dongfang Yao and the others, Zai Loi's gaze fell on Nanguang. Noticing that he had entered the false pill realm, he didn't approach. Fake pill realm? Zai Loi smiled wryly and shook his head, clearly apprehensive. He muttered to himself, I didn't expect that old man, Nanguang, to have actually reached the false pill realm. Alice, Su Yang, today's matter depends on your own luck. Father, is the false pill realm so difficult to reach? Why haven't you reached it yet? Zai Fanglian, who was standing beside him, asked curiously. That depends, Zai Loi replied truthfully. After years of reaching the peak of the foundation establishment stage and establishing a solid foundation, one can break through to the core formation stage. However, as everyone knows, those in the core formation stage will be plagued by ominous influences and suffer unbearable pain. Only by stepping onto Kunlun's ancient starry sky road and leaving Earth can they be free from these ominous influences, but no one knows what lies at the end of the ancient starry sky road. Therefore, almost no Earth cultivator wants to set foot on it. It's also for this reason that many cultivators who could clearly achieve core formation suppress their abilities and refuse to do so. Zai Loi continued, Nanguang is one of them. He's been at the peak of the foundation establishment stage for many years and could have achieved core formation long ago, but he never dared. As for the false core stage, an external force is needed to break the golden core. Of course, if one is strong enough and ruthless enough, one can also break the golden core on their own, but this is extremely difficult, so usually a powerful individual needs to help. Zai Loi continued, in addition, A vast amount of supplies is required, such as spirit stones, medicinal herbs, and anything else that contains spiritual energy. Without a vast supply of resources, Nangong Yin will surely die once his golden elixir shatters, Zaloi said calmly. With the Nangong family's strength, both conditions are naturally met. It's reasonable for him to reach the Fake Dan realm. If our Zai family's ancestor hadn't disappeared for 20 years, I would have reached the Fake Dan realm long ago. Apart from our ancestor, no one in the Zai family could shatter my golden elixir for me, Zaloi said. The Fake Dan realm is so powerful. If we cultivate a few more Fake Dans, wouldn't we be able to unify the ancient clan? Zifan Liang inquired. You're overthinking it. Even if we exhaust all the resources the Zai family has accumulated over the years, we can only create 4 or 5 Fake Dans at most, Zaloi smiled wryly. Besides, do you think other ancient clans don't have Fake Dan realm masters? I see, Zifan Liang nodded, as if understanding. Time passed minute by minute. At this moment, with only a few seconds left, Nangong Yin was extremely anxious, but he still couldn't defeat Shi Haohan. Now, Shi Haohan lay sprawled on the ground, unable to stand. His enormous eyes opened and closed with apparent effort. Seemingly on the brink of death. Shi Haohan, you've ruined my plans. I want you dead. Nangong Yin, seething with rage, immediately mobilized all his spiritual energy, preparing for a final blow. Boom. But at that moment, Su Yang, sitting cross-legged within the light curtain, opened his eyes. His piercing gaze, like a ray of light piercing the darkness, instantly swept the entire audience with a terrifying aura. The grand formation for the transformation of ancient martial arts had begun. The Wudang Mountain 5 elements interlocking formation activated the moment Su Yang opened his eyes. At this moment, empowered by the 5 elements interlocking formation, Su Yang possessed the power to dominate all of Wudang Mountain, his aura as vast as the ocean. Chapter 600 Lin Yuan's Purpose. The Ancient Martial Arts Transformation Formation, activated. The 5 elements interlocking formation, activated. In an instant, Su Yang stood atop the circular platform. The golden veil of light surrounding him dissipated. A brilliant light emanated from his body, dazzling like a deity. From beginning to end, Su Yang could clearly sense what was happening outside. However, he needed to concentrate and activate the formation associated with the ancient martial arts transformation. He couldn't be distracted or give up halfway. Su Yang realized that if he tried to withdraw his consciousness, the formation would risk complete collapse. In other words, once he reached the circular platform, he had to activate the formation, otherwise, it would be impossible to activate again. Therefore, Su Yang forced himself to calm down and work hard to activate the formation as quickly as possible. Fortunately, at the critical moment, the formation activated, freeing Su Yang. At the same time, with a thought, he activated another formation on Wudang Mountain, the 5 elements interlocking formation. This formation was based on the entire Wudang Mountain. Within Wudang Mountain, Su Yang had no rivals. Unless a cultivator at the nascent soul stage arrives, Su Yang is invincible. On Earth, true giant and cultivators don't exist, let alone nascent soul cultivators. Swish, swish, swish. At this moment, everyone's eyes fell on Su Yang. Has the ancient martial arts transformation begun? It looks almost there. The light curtains surrounding the circular platform have disappeared. Look at the golden light emanating from Alliance leader Su. It's terrifying. Not only terrifying, I vaguely sense that the light emanating from Alliance leader Su is the future of the ancient martial arts world. I haven't noticed any changes in the ancient martial arts world yet. I guess Alliance leader Su needs to make the final move before the ancient martial arts transformation can truly begin. This Nangong Yin has reached some kind of Fake Dan realm. Alliance leader Su is definitely no match for him. What are you waiting for? Why not just start the ancient martial arts transformation and see if the ancient martial arts world's hidden treasures can rise to prominence in one fell swoop? The onlookers, bewildered, gazed anxiously at Su Yang in the distance. The crucial formation for the ancient martial arts transformation has finally been activated. Sigh, I'm afraid from now on, the world will undergo tremendous changes, and I don't know whether for good or bad. Zaloi watched the scene from afar and couldn't help but sigh, his expression slightly complicated. After all, he belonged to one of the 10 ancient clans. From the Zai family's perspective, they certainly didn't want to see the ancient martial arts transformation. But the ancestor had ordered him to protect Su Yang, a descendant of the Su family, So Xyloid had no choice but to comply. Is the ancient martial arts world about to undergo a transformation? At this moment, Jun Wuiao and Ali exchanged a move, each retreating. He then paused, sizing up Su Yang, but did not attack again. He had fought Ali to buy time, allowing Nanguang Yin to prevent Su Yang from initiating the ancient martial arts transformation. Now that the transformation had already begun, Jun Wuiao naturally no longer needed to intervene. As for Ali, she didn't pursue him relentlessly. Instead, she took the form of a nine-tailed underworld fox and quickly flew to Su Yang's side, protecting him. It worked. Su Yang, thank you. Without this nine-transformation heaven-altering formation, the body of my Ghost Nether sect ancestor is finally free. Amidst the crowd, the old poisoner Lin Yuan let out a faint smile. Ghost Nether sect. Yes. The legacy inherited by the old poisoner Lin Yuan came from the Ghost Nether sect. Hailing from the depths of the mists, Mount Lu, he had long practiced poison techniques. Initially, he only knew of the Ghost Nether sect in his youth. Lin Yuan had even joined Su Wuji in the campaign against the Ghost Nether sect back then. The Ghost Nether sect was considered an evil force, sought after and punished. But recently, using the techniques taught by Su Yang, Lin Yuan successfully entered the ranks of cultivators. Invigorated by spiritual energy, he unexpectedly received a legacy within the 100 Poison Banner. And that legacy came from the Ghost Nether sect's ancestor, the old man who called himself Sumo, imprisoned within the Void Tower. The 100 Poison Banner contains not only a legacy but also a soul mark left by the Ghost Nether sect's ancestor, Sumo. After Lin Yuan digested the mark, he learned that the ancestor's physical body had been suppressed within Wudang Mountain's 9 transformation heaven-altering formation. Once this formation is activated, the ancestor's body can reappear. The soul mark within the 100 Poison Banner also instructs Lin Yuan a mantra that will allow his soul to leave his own body and enter that of the ancestor, controlling it. At that point, there will be no rivals in the world. Of course. The mark left by the ancestor also solemnly instructs Lin Yuan to use the power of his physical body to force the Su family's descendants to hand over the ancestor's soul, allowing his body and soul to reunite. If successful, he will be unrivaled. The ancestor promised to accept Lin Yuan as his direct disciple and pass on all his knowledge. This filled Lin Yuan with immense excitement, and he eagerly sought to understand the 9 transformation heaven-altering formation. After some investigation, Lin Yuan learned that the 9 transformation heaven-altering formation was related to the ancient martial arts transformation. If the ancient martial arts transformation could be successfully initiated, the 9 transformation heaven-altering formation would naturally disappear. Consequently, Lin Yuan signed up for the 100 Sex Martial Arts competition and even took the initiative to meet Su Yang, proposing his friendship and offering his assistance. Furthermore, 2 days ago, Su Yang received a buy in the lottery, while Lin Yuan drew Jun Wuiao. This was actually all orchestrated by him. After all, Lin Yuan was an ancestor from the depths of the clouds and mist, and his storage ring contained a vast collection of resources. He bribed the judges and orchestrated some trickery. Through his soul imprint, he knew that only descendants of the Su family could initiate the ancient martial arts transformation, so he couldn't let Su Yang be eliminated. According to fate, even if Su Yang was eliminated this time, he would still have a chance to encounter the 9 transformation heaven-altering formation in the near future, but it would be a waste of time. Therefore, Lin Yuan arranged for Su Yang to receive a buy to buy him time, while also arranging a meeting with Wudang's Wang Yi to clear the way for Su Yang. Lin Yuan had long been aware of Jun Wuiao's strength, but Jun Wuiao had stated that they would only fight one more match and, regardless of victory or defeat, would withdraw from the 100 Sex Martial Arts competition. Therefore, Lin Yuan had initially intended to eliminate Wang Yi. Unfortunately, the referee, an old Taoist priest from the Xianji sect and a fellow disciple of Wang Yi, took the money but didn't deliver. He tricked Lin Yuan and arranged for him to face Jun Wuiao. Regardless, Su Yang had successfully won first place in the 100 Sex Martial Arts competition and had already initiated a revolution in ancient martial arts. Lin Yuan had achieved his goal. The soul mark left by the ancestor says that his physical body is suppressed in the Wudang Mountains. Haha, Su Yang, I'll leave this old man of the ancient clan to you. I'm going to control the ancestor's physical body. Lin Yuan smiled a triumphant smile, and then, in a flash, he headed straight for the Wudang Mountains, quickly disappearing into the crowd. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.